What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. Tonight's going to be a very interesting night tonight. We are going to be looking at hurricane reconnaissance. We're going to be looking at a lot of data that's going on. We have a big threat that is going to be coming up for Jamaica and the Yucatan Peninsula in the next couple of days. So that's why we're tuning in tonight for the live stream. I'm sorry this is a little bit late. A bunch of stuff got in the way. Just wanted to make sure that we got everything out in order. But let's go ahead and introduce our guests right here. We have one of our moderators, Kat, in stream right now. Kat, say hello.
Hello.
All right, and we have, once again, we have Storm Teen, who's been really helping us out over the last few streams.
What's up, everybody?
And we have Tristan, who is back coming in clutch with all the analysis he's been giving. Tristan, say hello.
Hello.
All right, let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're already getting people joining, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. Here's the situation that we have going on right here. Earlier this morning, Beryl made landfall in the Windward Islands, causing a lot of damage. Already, we have reports that 2 people have been killed at the very least. My heart, thoughts, and prayers do go out to those that have been affected and will be affected by this hurricane in the next few days. We're going to have to keep a very close eye on it. This is a very serious situation. What we have right here on satellite is an angular hurricane, which is essentially a hurricane that is pretty symmetric all around you, has a very circular eye, very symmetric structure, just something you have to take very seriously. This is usually indicative of a very strong hurricane, and as you can tell, Beryl is a very strong hurricane. According to the National Hurricane Center, we have winds of 155 miles per hour and a pressure of 938, although we have been looking at reconnaissance, and I'm going to turn it to you guys. This could potentially be a Category 5 of last time I've checked.
I think this is a Category 5. I'm
like
pretty
Category 5.
I think
it's
it's been
definitely
a Cat 5
Category
for a
5.
couple hours. But the current reconnaissance data does support 160, and if you do the blend calculation, it even says that it may currently have winds as high as 165 miles per hour right now. So
that's going to be interesting to take a look at. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the drops. One of the drops, latest drop was in the eye, pressure of 939 millibars, east-northeast wind at 12 knots, so overall pressure on 938 millibars as of right now that we are taking a look at, based off of the recon and based off of that calculation. What else do you guys have?
And to note, that pressure that drops on data of that 939 was not fully in the eye. It was on the southern side of the eye.
Yep.
I do think either they're going to say this is a Category 5 very soon, or they're going to do it like 5 months from now when they relook at this storm.
Yeah, like when they later look at the season and do reanalysis.
Yes. Yeah, they're going to put this as a Category 5 then.
Yeah, we have Sebastian joining the stream right now. How are you doing?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm doing wonderful. We're just watching this situation very closely right now. We're looking at recon. We found evidence of Category 5 winds in this thing. NHC is waiting for more data, so that's why we're streaming tonight, just to give you as much information as we can, as well as
I have been here the past 5 minutes.
And I would like to note our new data will be coming here in the next 10-15 minutes, because they're going to be punching through the southwest eye and punching out through the northeast eye wall, which is where the strongest winds are. So we'll get to really see that data that we're looking here for.
All right, brilliant. So we've been watching this all day. What are the biggest takeaways that we've kind of had so far, given this evolution of it in the last 24 hours?
Well, the island did absolutely nothing to it. It landfalled on the island. It had a little ripple in the eye wall, but about 30 minutes to an hour later, I mean, it just bounced back immediately. So, I mean, there's nothing stopping this thing right now.
Yeah. All right, Tristan, you haven't been talking too much. What's your thoughts on what's been going on in the last 24 hours?
I'm going to be honest, and this is going to be my take. We know it's a Category 5, but because of the way it's been declining a little bit in NHC terms, potentially, they may hold off as 155 miles an hour, even if recon provides evidence. Even though this is one of the best it has in terms of cloud tops, and I know Dirac confirmed AT7, so If there is going to be a Category 5, it would have to be now to tomorrow morning
Yep.
before the westerly shear begins Tuesday afternoon. I would also like to note that this is mostly an annular hurricane. The only difference is that there are some bands to the north that is preventing that. But the structure, especially since there is dry air to the east, I do think it will be able to hold its own. However, I do think it's going to start weakening after Tuesday afternoon.
All right. And I would say that kind of what happens tonight will determine what will happen in the next few days, especially for Jamaica and the Yucatan. Could you guys agree with me on that?
Yes.
Oh, those
Yeah.
northern bands, by the way it's set up, Jamaica could see some water spouts and tornadoes. That is a very tropical tornado banding position
I
there.
What's up?
I was just gonna say that, like, past the Yucatan, the GEFS has taken like a much more north turn. Like, a lot of them are going towards Louisiana now. I'm just saying. I know it's far out, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's far. Yeah, sorry, it's kind of far out, and there is still a very big heat dome across a lot of the southern United States, so that might be driving it away from Louisiana at this current point.
Yeah, I think we all know it's a Cat 5, and the NHG just doesn't think that.
Well, we're gonna have to wait and see what's
It's
happening.
been a Category 5.
They're being conservative.
All day, we've been seeing multiple pieces of evidence from multiple recon from flights. We saw T7 earlier on Durac, and now we're seeing it again. So this is either going to be a Emily situation or an Ian situation where they stay 155 because they're not sure no matter how much evidence and they just pre-analysis it, or they're going to straight up said is the earliest Category 5 on record at 11.
You do realize the Emily situation and the Ian situation are pretty much the exact same because they both stayed 155 and were reanalyzed after the season.
Exactly.
That's what he was
I think
referring to.
Also, Pat, if you take a look at tropical weather discussion, that is currently where they are, where the reconnaissance plane is right now.
All right, I'll go ahead and take a look at that. I also have that. Yeah, it's about to penetrate through the southwestern eye wall and go to the northeastern. So we're gonna get very telling information very soon if we have more data to support this or not, which I'm pretty sure we will at this point, but we'll have to wait and see.
If basically as long as I see if I see SFMR winds higher than 150 knots, then yeah.
All right.
That'll tell you right there.
Yeah, we also need to look at the flight level winds as well. That paid attention to that and the drops and data that comes in. Those are two very key pieces of information we need to keep an eye on, especially as this goes into the overnight hours. Out of curiosity, is this the only plane that's going to be going in tonight?
I don't know.
I do got some really bad news, and I hope this is not the case. Beryl, I'm very worried. Hold on, let me confirm this, but there are some rain bands on Montserrat right now. And I remember looking at the territory.
Yep, we were talking about the lahars that were there.
Eruptions. Yep. So hopefully they're not getting too many rain bands, but now I'm worried because the eye wall replacement cycle may have just given enough instability to the areas left over by eruptions. We might. I'm not saying it's going to.
All right.
But after seeing what rainfall can do to a remnants of a volcanic eruption area, I'm kind of concerned.
Yeah,
I want to see if I'm going to get any information from Montserrat.
All right, that's fine. Yeah, while you're doing that, you mentioned eye wall replacement cycle. What's the odds that it's going to happen tonight? What's the odds that's going to happen tonight? Potentially weaken this down.
I don't see.
I don't see it, but by tomorrow,
I'd be more concerned about that.
I think, yeah. But you never know. I might be wrong. You know, I'm not a god. We don't know everything.
Yeah.
However, I don't see any of the tail signs that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yet
and speaking of which, we had the ERC happen last night. That was the smoothest eye wall replacement cycle I had ever seen from a hurricane.
I know. It only took 6 hours, and it was back on its track.
Yeah, and Tristan, we were talking about this thing being a merger. Well, you were dead on about that being a merger. It didn't really do much to the structure. It may have weakened it about 10 miles per hour, but then it just jumped back up to 130 and then up to 150 at landfall, which is why I was so worried about that. And also it expanded the wind field quite a bit. Well, it wasn't that noticeable of a change, but already we were up to 125 miles for tropical storm force winds and 40 miles for hurricane force winds. Definitely a noticeable change in the size of this system. And then this afternoon, you had probably the most beautiful satellite imagery I'd ever seen from a hurricane in this region of the world. So yeah, overall.
And I'll say this between the Hurricane Hunter planes. So there was a 4-hour period where they weren't able to be in it because they had to refuel the planes. I think, given on how good and how long it sustained itself at that structure during that time period, I think it might have actually hit its potential peak, and we're just not sure of it because there was nobody in it.
Yeah, there was no hurricane reconnaissance in there. All right, let's go ahead and look at a few questions in the chat. People are asking if this is going to be a Category 5 tonight. It very likely is at this point. We're just waiting for data to confirm it at this current point. How fast will the wind shear cut this beast down? So how much wind shear are we looking at tomorrow afternoon, Tristan?
It's only going to get up from there. I know it's easterly shear, but we don't know how strong that shear is going to be. But I know there's a lot of dry air with it, and that is what the real killer is, because it's still a small system. Even if we only had 20 knots of shear, if that dry air can get in there, that will literally force a eye wall replacement cycle. It would have to, or the storm would just get teared apart.
Yeah.
Also, I got some very good news. Montserrat was able to dodge most of the heavy rainfall.
Oh, that's good
that
news
is
for
great.
them.
Fantastic.
That is great. That is great to hear.
That is great.
Because if they had one of those heavy rain bands earlier, that was a hard fret by the dozen.
Okay, we have some more people in right here in the call. We have Ian, we have our head admin John, and we have another one of our moderators Daniel and Alan, who has been helping out for the last couple of days. One at a time, say hello.
Hey, I probably won't be here super long, but I just wanted to say
fine.
I feel like there's a chance it might come bad off that shear if it can contain itself. That's just me.
All right. That's fair.
I mean, especially after that eye wall replacement cycle. Oh, it definitely could. But
Yeah.
the problem is not the shear by itself. It's the Saharan dust behind it.
Yep.
If you look at the water vapor, you could tell just east of the system, that is some dry air.
Yeah, this
That
right
is
here.
killer.
Yeah, this right here is what I'm looking at for our
96L.
audience tuning in. This right here is what's going to suppress tropical activity for the next little while. So
Yeah, it's killing our current tropical wave out there in the Atlantic.
yeah,
right now.
96L, which is what we've been watching. I'm not even going to look at that tonight because it's getting just choked out by the hour. So
Yeah.
That dropped from
It dropped from like a 40-70 all the way down to like a, what is it right now, a 20-40?
2040. I will
Yeah.
say, though, so far, Beryl is doing an amazing moisture bubble. It is a fantastic job.
It's got a big moisture bubble, it does.
Yes. Also, it's still getting outflow from the Tut, which means it might be able to combat some of that dry air, which will be interesting to know. It's getting a lot of moisture from parts of the gyre located in South America right now. That's interesting.
And in my personal opinion, if it does make it into the Gulf of Mexico and maintains quite a bit of its strength, if it goes onto like the northern part of the Yucatan, which some models are starting to suggest, and it could make that turn towards Texas, some as models are starting to suggest again, I think this has a shot at still being a Category 3 at the very most, to be honest. If it hits Texas, that's just my opinion. It's too far out.
yeah,
but
it's
we'll
too
see.
far out. We gotta see what the wind shear looks like. Same with the
Wait.
air.
Are you saying a Category 3 while hitting Texas?
Maybe. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm
It
saying
depends on the track. If if it avoids most of the Yucatan's land interaction, it very
Well,
well
then
could.
Yeah,
But
that's what the
also,
HMR was
uh,
suggesting.
No. Well,
wait,
if it
wait.
avoids the Yucatan, I don't think it's going to hit Texas.
Well, you
yeah,
never
Hello.
I mean,
No,
anyone
it's the
who's
only
using
state it can hit because the heat dome.
All right.
If it
Yeah.
avoids the Yucatan, it's a line from Texas.
Yeah. We'll have to see what happens. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to go take a look at chat, see what kind of questions we have already.
Alrighty.
Okay, yeah. All right. How's the high pressure system over Texas looking? When will it move? Yeah, the high pressure system in Texas. If you guys could take a look at that, that'd be much appreciated. All right.
Let's go to our surface analysis. By the weather
Currently
prediction center.
in the eye wall, and they're measuring a pressure of 939 millibars extrapolated in the eye wall.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
So there is not a high pressure right now over Texas. There are actually mesoscale high pressures located in parts of Colorado and New Mexico, but there is a pretty decent high pressure all over the Gulf of Mexico. I just want to see this evolution here. The high pressure actually does disappear, and then there's a high pressure later on by Thursday, potentially located on the east coast of the United States. We got a little mesoscale one in the Midwest. So your high pressure does actually allow Texas to maybe have some fun, especially now there's mesoscale lows.
What do you mean by fun? What do you mean by fun?
The direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
The
the Weather
most-
Prediction Center does also support that northern jog of some of the models. That is interesting to note on the surface analysis.
Yeah,
I
I'm
will
taking
say-
a look at it.
I do want to note something people are saying.
It's still far out,
hold
by the
on.
way, for
All right.
people worried. It's still far out.
Yeah. All right, go
Watch
ahead.
it. Don't panic.
So first off, for recon, SFMR has died. They can't use it anymore. The instrument for it, I believe, is broken. Nothing's showing up for SFMR. So that means that the NHC has to use only flight and calculate down.
Yeah.
It can only use flight
winds.
level winds and calculate down.
What about
And-
drops on data?
Yeah, drops and
I
data.
think they could do that. They could probably put that in, but for flight level, for all around the storm, they need to use that. And the thing we're trying to focus on is whether it is at or above 153 knots if we want to see an upgrade.
Yeah.
If it's anything below C5, there is no C5 support from recon. But if there is, then there's a good chance that NHC will look at it and say, okay, that could be a C5.
All right.
Well,
I
they're
will-
about to
I
punch
will
into the
say
northeast
this.
eye, so.
With the way Beryl has been, I think it's a C5, even if they can't use that. I'm sorry, man.
I'm with you.
There's just no way to dodge the potential anymore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just realized since about 051Z, the SFMR instruments, not working. It's broken.
Yeah, that's
too.
not fantastic. We'll have to use flight level winds. Anyway, I'm looking at this right now.
They're about to penetrate the eye.
No, they're
And
already
northeast
in the
eye,
eye.
too.
They're about to go into the
Yeah.
northern eye wall.
They're about to penetrate it according to the newest maps. We're probably already in it. And we'll have it within about 6 to 8 minutes.
Okay.
Someone asked a really good question. Someone asked, "Is there a hurricane? Hurricanes that are good at fighting off wind shear?" What a lot of people don't realize is that not all wind shear kills hurricanes. I know that's ridiculous for me to say. There are some hurricanes who have used the direction of the wind shear to strengthen, which we call baroclinic forcing in some cases. One of the most perfect ones I can think of. What would be a good Ian? Ian that used the trough to the west. Its shear actually aligned with it.
Yeah, to align with the outflow of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
In terms of fighting wind shear, what is a good storm that fought really good wind shear in the Atlantic?
We'll have
I
to
think
keep.
Wilma did.
Oh yeah,
Or-
Fiona
or-
definitely did.
Oh yeah, Fiona. Yeah.
Hurricane Lee technically did in a way.
Except
Yeah, but
it
tried
couldn't
to.
tear it kept tearing itself apart. That's the problem.
Yeah. But I think Wilma managed to fight off wind shear and strengthen right before it hit Florida.
No, the Florida one was also like an Ian situation. The shear was in a direction where it could help it strengthen and gain momentum.
Yep.
However, this time it's fighting against it, which will
I mean, you
Not-
never know. It depends on the angle of the wind shear.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see when this thing actually interacts with it.
Yeah, so far right now I'm just looking at the water vapor and looking where the shear is at the current moment, the visible shear. And the it seems to be dissipating a little bit affront this storm right now.
Yeah,
It definitely
this
is
the
receding a
moment
little
where
bit.
It actually has. Yeah, see, the wind shear is at an angle where it's helping its outflow. It's not hitting it. Yeah, see that?
Not yet, at least.
It's gonna run right into it though, according to what I'm seeing.
Actually, what the thing is that that's supposed to go away. It's supposed to be the westerly winds that create the wind shear, not that.
Wow.
So if it can protect itself from dry air and sustain it and have a good structure, it could live. It could live
Yeah.
decently well.
Definitely
I
could.
mean, I definitely agree this could be a major hurricane for the Yucatan potentially.
No,
No.
I think it will be a slow weakening because remember, it still has to go through an eyewall replacement cycle.
I feel like it's either for Yucatan, it's probably either a high end 1 to a low end 2. That's what I'm seeing right
I
now.
would
I will
say
say-
I would go high end 1, a category 2, low end category 3. Because it's only the eyewall replacement cycle and dry air. The wind shear won't be the worst, and you still got tons of warm water and warm water depth.
Yep.
I will say, whoever said, I'm not going to hate on anybody, whoever said a bit ago that this could be a major hurricane for Texas, I know it's far out, but most models only show it as a tropical storm in Texas. I don't
No, a
really see
tropical
that.
storm in their case can be really bad because they've had a ton of rainfall in southern Texas from Alberto and West.
But keep in mind that if conditions are just right in the Gulf, we know what can happen. in the
Exactly.
Gulf of
We saw that
Mexico.
on
the
numerous
big
occasions.
is the sneaky
Yeah.
one.
And also keep in mind, you might say, well, the other storms have not been able to really explode. Here's one difference. I'm just gonna say it. This storm
You know
will
what I've-
Hold on, let Daniel talk.
This storm already will have a structure to it and a well-defined structure.
Yeah.
All it has to do is sit over that water probably for 6 to 12 hours, and then it will probably blast off quite literally into Texas.
I mean,
Here's
it
my
depends.
question, though. Is it going to sit in the Gulf long enough? Because it's still going to be moving at like 17 or 20 miles an hour by the time it gets
It definitely will be there
One,
for
one
long.
model run. One model run has me more. Well, some of the model runs have me a little concerned, where it takes the worst case possible scenario that stays over water for the longest time and curves towards northern Texas, doesn't slam directly into South Texas.
Yeah, but
It
if we're
curves,
Some of
it curves
models
the
are
whole
kind of-
coast.
Oh.
well, yeah, but I was just
All right.
saying, like, if we keep saying it could be a category 3, I know some people might take that as there's a high chance of it when
Yeah.
it's not at the moment. It's not really that high of a
What?
chance.
Here's,
That's much-
Why?
here's
The
my
problem
biggest
is
question.
Yeah.
wait. The
I
problem
temps have
is
broken
with,
20C.
Okay.
Huh? Okay.
Items have broken 20C, and we are waiting for new recon data, which should spur up in less than 2 minutes.
Okay, that's
This
good.
will decide if the NHC will go C5 or not.
All right.
Yeah.
They likely won't. We don't know them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably won't.
Knowing that.
Here, the biggest question for this
I'll be back.
storm is not that dry air will affect it. Is can it
Guys,
outrun the dry air?
guys, we got breaking news. 157 flight level.
Are you serious?
What?
Yes, I'm being serious.
Oh my god.
Oh.
157.
Translates down to 141. It translates down to 141, I think.
Oh
141
no.
not?
It
That's a
translates
That's a
down to
knots.
141,
Yes, that's a
160.
knots.
That's a cat
that's cat
5.
That's
five.
cat 5.
Everyone talk
That is-
one at a time.
that
So
is-
let's give the viewers the data, and I'm going to explain the data.
I'm trying
At
to
the
figure
flight
that out. I'm not
level
even
wind-
getting it on my
I'm gonna
computer.
give out.
Hold on.
I'm gonna give out the raw recon data that I got provided with,
Hold on,
and
we
people
need the
have
viewers-
searched it and said
We
yes.
Gotta go.
I want the viewers to understand what that means, what the data is saying.
Exactly.
So, 157 knots at the flight level is 180.672 miles per hour. If it's 141 on the surface, if that's true, 162.26. You would round down, that'll be 160 miles an hour. So, yeah, that sounds Cat 5 to me.
Oh, they just punched to the northeast side.
Oh, they're about to punch. If that's even stronger,
They
it
got
got to be
flight
a
level
5.
winds
All
to
right,
a,
guys,
flight-
we got
flight level-
meteorologist
Hold on.
support.
One at a time.
We got flight level winds to 157 knots just now.
We already saw. Yep, we already just talked about it. Okay. Regardless, yeah, we're gonna have to wait for that drop. We're gonna have to wait for that drops and to put that in stone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we do have a meteorologist support for it from Alex Borum, a very trusted meteorologist here. A new pass to the northeast eye wall of Beryl finds flight level winds of 155 knots, solidly supporting a 140 knot intensity, making Beryl a Category 5 hurricane.
Yep.
Watch the NAC to stay 155.
Look, if they do it
I
at this
doubt they
point,
would do that.
if they can't at this point, they can't.
If
The evidence is
If they-
overwhelming.
Yeah, if they do, we'll riot.
No, we're
I'm
not
kidding.
going to riot, but I can tell you that everyone else is going to be a very unhappy about that.
Everyone's gonna go bat crud crazy.
Well, we're not going to do that at Storms United because we need to keep things cool, calm, and collected because
Yeah,
this is a
exactly.
very serious situation.
It is a
And
serious
honestly,
situation,
I
but
don't
everyone else
care.
I will just go crazy.
And I'm going to say this respectfully. I don't care about the strength. I care about where this is going to hit next. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
Jamaica
Okay,
is a very
by the way,
mountainous
we
area.
have a question about if this is going to if it's going to hit or make landfall in Jamaica. I want your guys' take on this, but I want to go ahead and start with this. Here's what we have: the track models. All of them move just south of Jamaica. This is literally a difference of plus or minus 30 miles from each run.
Yeah.
That's how tight this is. And depending on how this goes, because I've noticed it jogging further and further up to the north as of recently because of the intensification, yeah, it's going to get you closer and closer to Jamaica in the long term. We don't know if it's most likely not going to make landfall at this current point, but areas, especially in the southern half of Jamaica, may see hurricane force winds with this. What's your guys'
And
take?
especially since they're in the very northern bands and those mountains could do uplift and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a recipe for tropical tornadoes and flash flooding if they don't get hurricane force winds, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, we have 200 people in chat right now. Be sure to like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It really helps us out, helps us get more people engaged with weather. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight. It's been a very chaotic and very serious situation, and we appreciate you guys sticking with us. So be sure to like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It really helps us out. In the meantime, we're going to digest this reconnaissance right here. Okay, I have it pulled up right now. Yeah, 157 knot flight level winds with this. Pressure extrapolated at 938 millibars. And we have this converting down to 141. We're going to wait for the dropson to fully confirm it. And then at that point, well, it's the NHC's, in the NHC's hands. And considering how overwhelming the evidence is, they are most likely going to have to go for Cat 5, in my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt,
There's
though.
50 minutes left until the advisory.
Yeah,
3 hours ago, Major Hurricane Beryl's eye just hit a new driest at negative 16.35 Celsius.
Interesting.
Ooh.
When?
3 hours ago by WX Adam.
That is really
No,
dry.
apparently iTemp has dropped below 20.
Really?
Has dropped above 20. Sorry.
Okay.
Still used to negatives.
All right.
You mean it's gone
Oh,
up
so
above
many
20?
people are saying the wind data is confirmed. It's NHC's hands now. Multiple meteorologists now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Has it been
multiple
looked
videos.
over? Oh my god.
No, they said a
Five.
lot of people are saying the NOAA aircraft found winds of 183 at 10,000 feet. This would translate at 162 at the surface. If the NHC determines it illegitimate, it could be a Category 5 pretty much instantly now. All day we've been just seeing so much evidence of it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, this is awful. So this kind of reminds me of Dorian when on the night of August 31st of 2019 when the NHC claimed that they didn't have enough sufficient evidence. when
Oh
there was
yeah, I
clear
remember that. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Can we confirm that?
Yeah, I
And then
remember
you
Devin
woke up to
Williams' rant on
180.
Force 13 about that.
Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
asked, how safe are we in the Dominican Republic for new information? It depends how northwest it goes. I can tell you now, though, you can get some tropical storm force winds. Maybe if you get a good rain band, maybe a water spout or two. Be careful of a tornado, especially with how much SRH this thing likely has.
Yeah, and you
SRH
guys
for
are
our
under a
viewers,
tropical
real quick.
storm warning right now in the southwestern Dominican Republic and the southern coast of Haiti, so you got to pay attention to that.
SRH, by the way,
Okay.
for our viewers, is storm relative helicity. Good for the spin in the atmosphere for the potential of supercells in tropical systems or in severe weather events, capable that could help large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes and severe weather. In the case of tropical cyclones, mostly tornadoes and a few damaging wind gusts on the outside.
Also, I'd like to note those colder cloud tops to about negative 79 Celsius now, almost negative 80 Celsius,
Oh wow.
are wrapping their ways all the way around. Pretty tight now.
Yep. This is, yeah, I'm watching it on satellite myself. It's going to be a very interesting situation how it plays out. Just give me 1 second to load this. For those of you who are susceptible to flashing lights, seizure warning for just a few seconds as I'm updating this right here from the Joint Typhoon Warning 7. So quick seizure warning on this. I do apologize for that. I'm just waiting for this to load. I'm going to mitigate this as much as I can.
Okay.
What's up?
4 more people have confirmed this is likely a Category 5 now. The winds are too obvious now.
Wow.
Multiple reliable weather Twitter sources. Whoa, here we go. Now everybody's going to be outraged to go 5 by tonight. Now I'm seeing the potential. Uh-oh.
Well,
Eye temperature is
Too much
23
evidence.
Celsius right now.
What is?
Someone said,
Eye temperature.
Okay.
let's see. Will Weaver also said
All right.
Category 5. Michael Lowen says Category 5.
So how
W,
many
that's Adam,
people are
Category
agreeing on it
5.
right now?
Yeah,
A lot.
everybody's
A lot.
saying it now.
Too many
There's just
to
too much
not
evidence.
notice.
There's just too much evidence.
We suspected this for several hours.
Before everybody pulls out the party decorations and starts doing the Gundam style in chat,
Oh my god.
wait for the NHC
Yes.
to confirm it, even though we don't like that.
Yes, we have to wait for the NHC to confirm it. They're the official agency. We're just looking at the models. We're just looking at the recon, and we're interpreting it for you guys. We're not trying to cause a panic or cause a massive riot or anything like that. We don't want that. They're doing a phenomenal job of holding on. They've been doing a great job with staying on top of this throughout this entire life cycle. During its entire rapid intensification cycle, they were staying on top of it. So one advisory of this thing not being a Cat 5 is something not to explode at them over. I get we're all hyped and everything like that this is our first Cat 5, or earliest Cat 5 in history, potentially, if the NHC does decide to verify this.
Man,
But
even,
we need to take a
Mitch-
chill pill and let them do their job. They're human like we are.
Also, where that
Even-
flight level wind of 180 miles an hour or 157 knots was, the extrapolated pressure there is a 962.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, that's okay. Even Mitch West says kind of feels like how the severe weather nerds feel about rating a tornado at EF5. I just really think we have been dealing with a Category 5 all afternoon, and it sucks we couldn't have anyone to confirm it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly, that's what I've been saying.
Same here.
Between the plane times, when they didn't have the planes in there because they had to refuel them, I
Yeah.
think it's been a Cat 5 the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to figure it out.
But wait for the NHG to confirm. it, even though
Also,
we
the
really
eye
don't.
has got its symmetry back. It is a perfectly symmetrical eye with those cold cloud tops just wrapping around it now.
This is, I will tell you, I think that part of this may be diurnal max trying to take effect on the hurricane right now, giving it one last chance to rapidly intensify before the shear starts tearing it apart. I will say, though, there haven't been really many shear surprises like we saw with Lee last year, so we're going to have to pay attention to that. Because I remember Lee vividly. Tristan, you were telling me this right before we got off stream in September of last year. You were telling me that you were noticing a bit of wind shear to its northeast starting to penetrate it a bit. Next thing you know, it just absolutely tears it apart. So we have to keep an eye.
There was a mesosphere low that was located to the northeast of it, and I noticed it and nobody did. That's why I told you, because
it's a good
that looked like a shear producer. And a lot of people didn't believe me. A lot of people didn't believe me, and the next day it looked like trash.
Yep.
Hurricane Lee was a storm that was forecast to reach above 180 miles per hour and possibly be the strongest storm in the Atlantic ever. But just a little bit of dry air and some wind shear and an IWAR replacement cycle really screws a hurricane over.
Yep.
Which is
little
good.
things like that.
That's good. You want a hurricane to be shredded like that.
I see a Category 5 wind contour. The recon 10-second flight level wind speed knots has also said there's a small area of C5.
All right.
So much sufficient evidence, and if the NHE doesn't verify,
before people say I'm smoking some weed with that information, let me get it real quick.
Yeah, please post it in VC No Mic so I can
get
show
it
my audience.
Get it through VC No Mic. I have two parts of evidence right here.
There's a small C5 contour.
All right,
or recon itself.
I see it from Yoshi's post.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I posted the exact same thing in VC.
Everybody,
all right, I'm gonna show this.
Yeah. Everybody, if it does this, by the way, say goodbye. Say goodbye to your 2005. Goodbye.
Yeah, 2024 is the new year of the record. 2005, well, you lived long enough. I will say, though, Katrina and Rita and Wilma will still be on everyone's minds, though.
Someone said as a hot take, if June 31st existed, we would have had the only Cat 5 in June. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, and I know we have so much evidence. It's like a crime scene. What is the evidence that you have to support your claim? I know that we have so much evidence. It looks like it's guilty right off the bat, but you never know. They could just be not.
Dvorak is about to go T7 right now. They're at a T6.7.
Yep, I'm seeing it.
Pressure 936.
Oh, they are very close to T7. Yeah,
right now,
and for context, T7 is 140 knots, which is 160 miles per hour.
Yep. Right now it's 80G. 80J is T 6.8. Raw T is 6.8, and the final T is 6.7, which is what they're going with.
All right.
For now.
Yep.
All right. So.
Okay, I got a quick question. How warm is the Gulf of Mexico? 29 to 30 degrees Celsius.
Which is very warm for this time of year. Normally, it would not be that warm right now.
Yeah. Do I know if
a jacuzzi?
Yeah.
I feel like a jacuzzi in there.
Do I know if Nicaragua could get the wind? It's way too far north for that. At this point, it's too small of a system, too far north.
But again, it is a small system. Keep an eye on it. It could be tricky.
We definitely will.
Considering how far south it is, it might be one of the farthest south Category 5 hurricanes in the Atlantic. I think the farthest south is still Matthew, though.
Yeah, it is. Right now it's at 13. I think at 13.7 or 13.8 degrees north, based on satellites.
What about Ivan? I think Ivan was pretty south too when it reached.
Ivan was
Cat 5,
south.
though.
Matthew broke that record.
Oh, it did.
Yep.
Okay. What was its coordinates?
13.4 degrees north for Matthew.
13.4 degrees north. Well,
We're
right
already
now
north
this
of
thing is currently 13.38.
It is. No, no, it's definitely more further north than that. Anyway, that's what we're looking at this current point. Let's pull up a new satellite image right here. I want to take a look at this right here. Yeah, this is this is probably the best structure. Hey guys, I'm gonna show you this on my Discord thing right here, just to show you guys. It looks like a sideways skull is on that. You guys gotta take a look at this. Yeah, it looks like
I see that.
a sideways skull is starting to form.
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah.
That's creepy.
That's-
That is very creepy.
That's giving me Matthew vibes right there.
Matthew
Yes,
had
it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now.
Yeah, that's starting. That you're starting to see that skull feature right there, ladies and gentlemen. You do not want to see that in a hurricane.
That just makes it downright creepy.
Yes, it does. And
No, the hurricane wants some Halloween candy. It's fine. No,
on July 1st, Halloween's not for another 4 months. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that's interesting. I'm going to go ahead and show the image loop once again. There are going to be some flashing lights, so fair warning with this. This will be over in just a few seconds. So yeah, doing my best to kind of keep it on the lower. Oh, there we go. It's all right. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, you guys can really see the evolution of this.
Question.
Yeah. This turned from pretty concerning to outright creepy in a span of a few minutes. Yeah.
Wow.
And we still have another 40 minutes before the NHC comes in. The eye is perfectly symmetrical too, which makes this even worse. So, yeah. And the eyes.
I'm gonna say this right now. I never knew that early July could be a secret sweet spot for systems. Oh my god.
I mean, I've been watching it for years. I've started in 2021, did it again in 2022. I saw it when Bonnie was going on. There were a lot of models screaming that could be a hurricane, but just there was too much infighting with that. Then Brett came very close. I remember I was up around 1 o'clock in the morning when I saw this. Brett came very close to becoming a hurricane. It got to 70 miles per hour as it approached the Lesser Antilles, but then it got to it and it got back down to 60. But it came very close based on reconnaissance. And now Beryl is here.
And it's shattering all the
Beryl is just doing whatever it wants.
No, it's
Beryl
deciding
is
to choose
barreling.
violence. That's what it's doing. Is it's choosing violence.
Yeah.
Beryl,
And
this thing
that's
is
the perfect way to put it,
barreling,
Kat.
no pun intended.
Yeah.
This thing is barreling, no pun intended, through the Caribbean. No pun intended.
Yeah, it's moving at 20 miles per hour. Worst part about this, too, is the OHC is not going to get affected by this at all. It's not, because it's moving way too fast.
And which means the rest of the hurricane season is just going to be even worse. And if with this...
This is a tone setter.
If we're seeing this in like 2 weeks before Emily even happened, in terms of records, I cannot imagine what August and September in particular are going to look like.
Yeah, that's when the wind shear collapses, and that's when the Sahara dust gets pushed up to Europe. So we'll have to pay attention to it.
And then it's off to the races.
Yeah, and then the West African monsoon season starts big time.
All right, Tristan, what's up?
I wonder if it can outrun the Saharan dust. How fast is the dust moving? It is at 21 miles an hour.
If that's the case, then that might be the quote unquote saving grace with Beryl, and not with the impacts are still going to be bad, but I'm talking about the hurricane itself.
Yeah, I wonder how fast is that Saharan dust moving versus Beryl. That would be interesting.
Yeah. All right, we have almost 300 people in chat right now. That's absolutely incredible. Be sure to like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It really helps us out, helps get more people engaged with weather. We're at 2,528 subs. We're going to try to get to 8,600 by the end of tonight. That would be much appreciated. So let's go ahead and like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Also, share the stream with a friend. Tell them, hey, Pat's Path Predictor is streaming. We're looking at this potentially being a Cat 5. You might want to take a look at this to see if you're going to get affected or not. So be sure to share this with as many people as you can, so that way we can get more people engaged with weather and cover this with as many viewers as we can, so that way we can get continue to monitor the situation and get as much information out as possible. In the meantime,
what I can't believe is that this is only the second named storm. Wow.
No.
And the fact that it's a Category 5 at the first day of July potentially is just even more insane.
I know.
Like I said,
Also,
and
Cat,
What's up?
And,
So we actually got a couple people in the chat here that are actually from Jamaica.
All right.
That might be a concern.
Yeah, that's definitely a concern. I've been monitoring the situation pretty much for the last 24 hours. I was talking about it quite a lot with Weather Girl Danny earlier this morning. Good news. It looks like for now it's going to be staying south, at least the eye of it's going to be staying south of Jamaica, but especially in the southern half of Jamaica, hurricane force winds are more than likely at this current point in time. It's just going to depend on how much this wobbles up to the north. So we're going to have to pay attention to it. And once again, these models are very tightly compact. The difference between the furthest north and furthest south is 30 miles. About.
someone said, I think we will get the Atlantic's first sub 900 millibar storm this year. No, it's not the first of all. It's not the first.
Wilma did that,
did it, and a few others did it. But second of all, it could happen depending on the evolution of the systems this year. It just depends.
Yep, it depends on the size. It depends on the intensity.
And the location of the storm too, depending on the latitude.
Yeah.
I mean, if it really does manage to outrun the Saharan dust, like, who was suggesting that potentially?
Tristan.
Sorry. Tristan. Like what Tristan was suggesting, this could be a much, much stronger storm than we think.
You also have to take into consideration wind shear that could start tearing the structure apart.
I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, but like, I don't think it would weaken too much, potentially. Maybe down to a Category 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well.
I say cat free depending on the structure. If it's
cat 2, cat 3.
Yeah.
It depends because this storm has been very unpredictable. Depends.
I just want any sign of good news at this current point.
They're turning back around and headed. It looks like they might be headed back to the northwest eye wall.
Yeah, it looks like they are. Yeah.
And then they'll punch out the southeast eye wall.
Yeah. Also,
they just measured a pressure of 940 millibars.
Yeah. Also, guys, I actually found out why that last reconnaissance left when it did. Apparently, there was so much lightning and the winds and everything like that, and just the conditions were so dangerous when it punched through the southeast and northwest eye walls that the command decided to just get out of there as soon as possible because of just how dangerous it was starting to get.
And that just proves how powerful it might have been.
Yeah,
that just proves to you that storm was strengthening still pretty quickly, and the storm probably peaked in intensity probably at that time, to be honest.
We're gonna have to wait and see once we get all the data after this thing finally dissipates, which feels like forever from now, considering just how much this thing has changed.
Ooh, we got some new analysis. Classic V-shaped SCU T-plots shown in tonight's dropsons in Hurricane Beryl. This shows drier air sinking towards the surface around the vortex and helping to lower pressure in the center. This may have given Beryl the final push it needed to reach Cat 5 intensity. Even better dry air than before in the eye. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That is interesting. And before people say, doesn't dry air kill storms? No, when you have a lot of... It depends on where it is. If it's outside the storm, yes. But intense hurricanes, especially when you get that Cat 4 to 5 to later on, to very intense storms, they have a lot of dry air in their eye.
Yeah. Which indicates that you have a very powerful storm. Also, I'd like to note to the viewers of the stream, the Western Pacific typhoon season has only had an ACE of 9.9. Well, Beryl has also had an ACE of 9.9, which means Beryl has had the same amount of ACE, just one storm, than the two storms put together that the Westpac's already had.
And that's accumulated. Convective energy from for hurricanes. That's how they measure how active a hurricane season is.
Yep, and it's not even done yet. The ACE is forecast to reach high as 30 at the end of this thing's life.
Yep,
which is insane.
Which would be the same total as if you were all the way into late August, basically.
Yeah, because typically we don't reach an ACE of 30 until August 27th.
Yeah,
wow.
And
someone put in chat
June.
2005 and 2020 2.0.
There's a reason why I say no to that, and it's even though the waters are much warmer and those storms are getting better intensity, my concern is the Pacific has been kind of trying to go back to El Nino a little bit.
No, it's
Well,
mainly
that's
staying at neutral. It's mainly staying at neutral.
Yeah, but it's
Right
been
now, it's
flip-flopping
currently at
so
positive
much.
4.86.
Yeah.
However, even if it were to, the waters are so it would likely cancel out the effects of El Nino, which has actually happened.
That happened last year.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we figured out the hard way that can't happen.
Yeah, last year. What? It was a really strong El Nino, I believe. Yeah, wasn't
Yeah, it
it?
was a super El Nino. It reached
And-
positive 2.1.
And still a very
Someone-
active hurricane season.
Yeah.
Someone asked, could it be a Patricia? It does not have enough time.
No,
No.
way-
Oh,
no,
no.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
We're not even considering that.
If it
It
becomes
would
a
have to be
Patricia,
moving
hold
much
on.
slower.
If it becomes a Patricia, the world ended. I
It-
swear.
That's a bit
The storm is
exaggerated.
moving way
That's a
too
little
fast.
exaggeratory.
The storm's
Well-
moving way too fast and has absolute.
Yeah, there's just
It
not
would
enough
have to
time
be
for that.
moving at 5 miles an hour. It'd have to be at a bear's crawl if it wanted to do,
Yeah,
and it's not.
yeah.
Hey guys, you know what the hurricane should go to? It should go to an Ace supermarket. That's pretty
Ha
cool.
ha 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 ha. Very funny. Okay.
I'll be right back. I gotta go get my phone charger, guys. I'll be right back.
All right. Perfect.
But yeah, Category 5, 100%. It's happening.
Oh yeah.
Not 100%, because the NAC could just be like, I'm just gonna stay 155 real quick. Here you go. So, don't say 100%, because they, with the data, yes, but their decision, not so much.
Yeah,
When does the next
Maybe-
update come out?
40
11
minutes
o'clock,
from now.
or a little bit early, depending.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, if this becomes a Category 5, say goodbye, Emily.
Yep.
Guinness record's already been more shattered than glass falling on the floor, so...
yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna have to. We'll have to see what happens when that happens. For those of you tuning in, we are dealing with a very big situation that is going on with Hurricane Beryl. It is barreling through the eastern Caribbean Sea right now. It made landfall. It made landfall earlier this afternoon in the Windward Islands, causing catastrophic damage all across the board. Yeah.
I swear that pun would never go away.
Yeah, it definitely will not go away for a while. I will tell you that. It went
Oh,
through the Windward Islands. It caused catastrophic damage for the areas affected. And now it's entering the Caribbean Sea as a very intense high-end Category 4 hurricane, possibly low-end Category 5, once the NHC starts to make its update known. So
Someone said in the chat, if Emily's record is broken, Wilma, you better watch out. I swear,
No.
if a storm beats Wilma, I'm done.
no,
It's over.
no.
I mean, I think
hope
he's
so.
talking about
Wilma
later in
was
the
a
season.
Wilma was a very unique circumstance of a very beautiful combination of the gyre, the Caribbean waters, and a tropical wave.
All right. Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye
I
on
think
it.
they were saying about October. I think that's what they were talking about.
Oh, okay.
If
I mean,
we
that could
beat
happen.
Wilma, here's the thing. If you beat Wilma, you basically beat Allen too with the way it intensified. So
Oh yeah, Allen was 190.
90, yeah.
With a pressure of 899.
Yeah, Allen was in 1980, I believe.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, 1980. It was, I believe, the second earliest Cat 5 actually.
Yeah, it was the earliest at the time. Yeah.
Earliest Cat 5 until that way.
Yeah.
And then that obviously got broken by Emily.
Yeah.
And now broken
Now it's
by
Beryl.
Comparison, because now the second earliest storm is 165 knots. So
What?
well, technically third earliest now because
Well, yeah, yeah. Well, what I'll say about all of this is there's three main pieces of information that kind of need to be hammered in. Number one, Beryl's exceeded all expectations across the board, and it's been a very unpredictable storm. Number two, the eyeball replacement cycle that went through made things even worse, and it was literally a worst-case scenario for the Windward Islands because it was a merger and not a full ERC that we were discussing last night. and it pretty much got done by, I believe, 1 a.m. My local time, 2 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time. And number three, at number 3, no matter how strong this gets, this is still a catastrophic hurricane. A 155 mile per hour Category 4 and a 160 mile per hour Cat 5 doesn't mean very much outside of the category. Still a destructive storm.
Is this stronger than Hurricane Ivan? No, Ivan was 165.
Yeah.
With a pressure of 910. In theory, it could tie Ivan. In theory,
with the wind speed, but not the pressure.
But the pressure definitely is going to be a bit lower.
You also have to keep in mind Ivan 2 was a much larger storm than this.
Yes.
Yeah. And we also remember Category 5 hurricanes are rare in general. And who made that quack sound?
Yeah.
Someone asked, is Beryl stronger than Even? I would say they're almost tied in a way.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough. We'll see at the Nets advisory. Hold on, let me look up Hurricane Ian and we can compare it.
It was a pressure of 937 and a wind speed of 160.
Yeah. Okay. For those of you tuning in, be sure to like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you are new. It really helps us out, helps us get more people engaged with weather. We're trying to get as much information out as we can, so be sure to do those 2 things, and we can do that as well. We're trying to get up to 8,600 subscribers tonight. Let's see if we can do it. 10 p.m. advisory is coming out in 25 minutes, so let's go ahead and see how this works. Anyway,
so ADT is updating here soon.
For the Dvorak.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say real quick, and I find this interesting. If I can't remember the question. It's like, oh no.
I swear, if this doesn't get upgraded to Category 5, the chat I already know is gonna go crazy.
Well, let's not get it into let's not cause anything to happen. Let's not cause anything to happen.
It's probably just gonna happen.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Let's be an example to the weather community that we should be and be professional.
We need to be professional about this.
Be professional, guys. Don't go crazy if it doesn't become a Category 5. There's really no difference.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hi. Regardless.
Someone was waiting to use that.
Going to ask that soundboards on our ears because this situation is very serious.
Yeah. That was just. Yeah, that's interesting. Anyway, thank you. Okay, so is there anything else we want to take a look at? We have recon. We have an update. Yeah, it looks like it's about to go into northwest Iowa again. Let's just see how this whole thing plays out. I'm curious to see what the next pass is going to do and how strong the northwest and southeast Iowa is going to be. So, yeah. Regardless,
so what do we have right now, as in terms of information on this?
What?
155 miles an hour with a pressure of 938 millibars, moving west-northwest at 21 miles an hour. The location as of 8 p.m. was 13.4 north, 64.0 degrees west.
Yes.
Oh, the new ADT is out. They dropped the pressure down to 936.
Even.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it T7 or very close?
It's very close.
Still at T 6.7. Adjusted T is 6.8.
Yep.
So basically, with it being so close to 7 and it doing it multiple times today, combined with multiple recons, and now they have to go 5 by 11.
They have to.
I mean, we're gonna just wait and see what happens. We have a little more than 20 minutes beforehand this comes out. So yeah. I want to go ahead
and luckily for everybody, and people were saying this is going to be someone in 2005 repeat. Well, if it is, then I got some. Well, there was some good news. Cape Verde shut down until August at least. I know there were some cold fronts that created systems, but in terms of Cape Verde, if the ocean's kind of like 2005, like some people were saying earlier in the year, we still got a decent break. I know most of the ones until Katrina was by mostly cold fronts besides Irene in 2005.
Yeah.
So if we're doing the 2005 thing, then we will still maybe not in names, but hopefully in terms of very major systems, maybe a break until August. Maybe. This season's already been
Yeah,
hell.
I think the main focus is going to shift from the main development region back to the Caribbean Sea and Gulf of Mexico, for at least for the time
I think
being.
it's going to be. I think it's going to be a frontal process because the Central American gyre does June. It shuts down in July, and then you get some of the cold fronts coming in, creating some of those frontal
Yeah.
systems we call it.
Okay, that eye is definitely contracting. I'm checking it right now. Okay, quick question. Are there any signs of an eyeball replacement cycle yet? Another one.
I don't see.
We
I don't
have
see it.
not yet.
I'm looking right now. I don't see any real
Oh, my heart
indicators.
dropped. I thought they issued the advisory. My heart dropped. Oh god, ow.
What happened?
I reloaded it and I thought it refreshed to the 11 o'clock, so my heart dropped.
Okay. Well, just try to relax, and we'll get
Man,
it
when
soon
you
enough.
have a record breaker like this, you can't.
Yeah, you just gotta. Yeah, I'm also noticing a lot more convection firing up on the southeastern part of the core of the system too. That's just something interesting to point out. And it's just overall a very good structure to say the very least. It's been a very interesting night. We've seen the -70 cloud tops just be absolutely incredible throughout this. And matter of fact, let's go ahead and go back to what we were seeing earlier this afternoon with the visibility high res with this. Let's go ahead and show that real quickly. We're gonna have to go back. Honestly, no, this is a good frame right here. This is what we were seeing earlier. This is what you would consider your classic annular hurricane right here, ladies and gentlemen. You see how symmetrical the eye is, how symmetrical the structure of this system is, and you start to see that stadium effect right there because the sun is starting to set. Overall, a very beautiful structure. Unfortunately, it's so destructive, and it has killed some people already in the Windward Islands. So, yeah, that's what's going on at this current point. What is everyone else's thoughts on this?
It's likely a category 5, but knowing the NHC is going to be cautious for this time of year, they can either choose 155 or 160.
Well,
Because we got to realize, even if this has so much evidence of a 5, this might be one of those cases also. Remember, IOTA had evidence of a 5, but then they said, oh, the data was mixed up, and it actually was. So I hope they don't do that mistake again.
well, only time will tell what happens. Either way, it's been a very long day, very interesting day. The fact that this thing made landfall just after 11 o'clock in the morning, too, and now it's almost 11 o'clock at night, and this thing is so far away from the Lesser Antilles is pretty insane, to say the very least. And just, I saw some of the video from where this thing made landfall, and oh my lord, it was from some island Caracola was really hit hard, seen from the footage of its homes.
Real quick, can y'all do me a favor?
What's up?
No one look at the NHC but me. My reaction will tell y'all if it's a 5 or not.
Okay.
It won't be a bad reaction. Just no one look at the NHC.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna touch it. In the meantime, though, in the meantime, though, I am going to. What's up?
I was like, oh, come on, Storm, come on.
In the meantime, though, I am going to be touching on a few things that we need to pay attention to at this current point in time. Even though
there's
this
an enhancement tomorrow. I'm sorry, but there is an enhancement tomorrow.
Yeah, even though after Beryl, it looks like the season's going to shut down for a little bit, we're still going to have to monitor the global sea surface temperatures across the Atlantic Ocean because we're seeing a lot of 28, 29, 30 plus degrees Celsius waters all around the main development region and in the Western Atlantic. And with no hurricanes really able to stop this water from warming, we're going to go from maybe a few isolated areas of 30 plus degrees Celsius or 86 plus degree Fahrenheit for those tuning in from the United States and Puerto Rico. We're going to see probably a huge bath of 30 degrees Celsius across a lot of the regions, maybe some isolated 32s near the Florida Keys, kind of like what we saw last year, although that was mainly due to a heat wave over southern Florida and not so much it was more of a localized situation. Regardless.
Hey, Pat.
What's up?
I'm going to go ahead and head off.
That's fine.
So I'll catch you guys later,
All
probably
right.
tomorrow, because I'm not far from bed.
All right. Have a nice night.
Yep, I'll try.
All right. Goodbye.
And real quick,
Yeah.
before we get the data from 11 o'clock, before everybody either gets disappointed or say finally or whatever, I want to thank the weather services on the Leeward Islands. Oh my god, they did fantastic.
This was an incredible job by everyone there.
Yes. I'm still sad 2 people died, but what can you do when you're in a small island? You know, I feel like I wish we had better ways of making sure small islands were okay.
No.
Yeah.
Honestly, it could have been 30 people if it weren't for the efforts. It
Yes.
could have been more.
Yeah. Everyone took it very seriously in the Lesser Antilles. I could not have been more proud of everyone that paid attention. And I'm really glad that we got so many viewers from the Lesser Antilles that were tuning in and keeping an eye on it here on the Pat's Path Predictor channel as well. I feel like just the local governments do deserve all the credit with this, but I am really happy that people were taking this very seriously, as it should be. Now, of course, 1 death is too many in these cases. We have 2 right now. We're going to have to pay attention to all of that. But regardless of the outcome, history has been made so far, and we need to make that clear. And in my opinion, like I've said, it does feel like a tone setter, because once the hurricane season starts opening up again in, I'd say late July, early August, that's when shear starts to collapse. That's when the dry air starts to recede. We're going to be in for a wild ride, and I will keep you updated for all of it here on the Pat's Path Predictor channel. So be sure to subscribe to the channel and like the stream if you are new tuning in tonight. It'd be much appreciative of you for doing that. Thank you very much. Would you guys like to say anything else? Okay, I guess I'm out. Am I back? All right, am I good?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
must have
You're good.
loaded out for a second. Okay. Yeah, it looks like my VC went out for a second. I do apologize for that. Are you guys, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right.
Loud and clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, thanks
Have
guys.
we gotten any
No problem.
confirmed reports of that ground station getting those 158 mile per hour sustained surface winds?
All right. Well,
Have we gotten any confirmed reports on that?
okay.
The new update will be at 11 o'clock. As I said, my reaction will say what they did. Hope no one's checking it.
Yeah, definitely.
With how much this has intensified over the past 48 hours, I would not be surprised if this becomes a Cat 5, in which this will be the first Cat 5 to form in July since 2005 with Hurricane.
Yep.
And only
It will be the
second-
earliest ever recorded. So,
Yeah.
And it already was the earliest Category 4 too. So if it jumps the gun and goes at Cat 5, well, that's history in the making. And the last few days will be very memorable for all of the weather community, regardless of the outcome. But we're going to be waiting. I'm going to check the recon, see what's going on with it. It looks like it's going to start making that approach towards the northwestern eye wall very, very soon. That is some good news with that.
I have to get going because I have
That's
work
fine.
tomorrow.
That's fine.
But
You have a good
Will you
night.
be live tomorrow or
No, we're not going to stream tomorrow night.
Okay. Yeah, well,
But I do appreciate you for helping me out.
no problem. Just
I might actually stream though. I might.
Okay.
Because
All right.
maybe I'll join that.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Have a nice night.
all right. Well, have a nice night and stay safe. All right. In the meantime, though, for everybody else that is still here, final thoughts before the advisory.
I believe that this is going to become a Cat 5. There's almost no doubt in my mind that this is going to be
Alright.
a Cat 5. Or if it's probably already a Cat 5 at this point.
I think we've been dealing with a Cat 5 all day, and the National Hurricane Center was just being really cautious.
And
I think
don't
we were
blame
just
them.
waiting
I
on
hope
recon
this is
data.
true.
Yeah.
I'm about to send y'all some I'm about to send you some maybe Cat 5 confirmed data.
Okay. Or send it in VC no mic. I'll take a look at it.
I did. Look at all the statistics.
Is this it?
I hope that's true.
They did
But
it.
that looks very true
What?
based off all the
What happened?
information.
Wait,
We were saying
Cat
that might
5
be
160,
Cat 5
they did it.
information,
They
but
did it?
We'll
They
see.
did it.
Cat 5.
Holy
Official.
We have a
Okay,
Cat
we don't
5,
have it on the
folks.
screen just yet.
We
But
don't have it on the screen.
We don't have it on the screen just yet on my computer. So
And my reaction will do it. So give me a
Gusts
second.
to
hold on, we're going to
195
confirm
miles an
this. We're
hour.
going to confirm this. But regardless, we are getting unconfirmed reports that the NHC has made this a Category 5. We're waiting
I
for
got the
that.
notification on my phone.
Okay.
I did too.
Yep.
All right.
Well,
See,
can I
like-
please do the reaction data? Y'all just
I got the
rush.
National Hurricane Center app.
Yeah,
Oh.
good for you. Congratulations. I'm using their website right now to broadcast this. Yeah, well, it does appear right now that...
Nope.
Yeah,
IMBot just popped up. It's official. Yep, it is a Cat 5.
okay.
Bruh.
Pressure 938. Wow.
Hold on,
Almost there
well,
on my part. But regardless,
Cat
this
5.
has been an unbelievable night.
Well,
Yeah,
well, they ruined my reaction chat. I'm sorry.
yeah, you're good. Okay,
Emily's been broken. Emily's been broken. Let
Yeah.
apparently
go.
so.
Wow.
All right. Yeah. Why does my computer always take a few minutes before everyone else?
Emily's been broken. All right, we got a Cat 5.
I don't see
Let's
it on
go.
my screen yet.
All right.
All right, we have a Category 5
Oh,
hurricane.
here it
Here's
is.
the new information.
I haven't gotten it yet.
Beryl has.
Am I the
okay.
only one?
yeah.
Very
That's-
refreshing.
I've been...
I am. It's
Okay, let's read the information here if Pat will allow me to.
Go right ahead.
Beryl becomes a potentially catastrophic Category 5 hurricane in the Eastern Caribbean, expected to bring life-threatening winds and storms to Jamaica later this week. 11 p.m. Location 13.8 north, 64.9 degrees west. It is moving west-northwest at 22 miles an hour when a pressure still of 938. That's interesting. And maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour. We have the earliest Category 5 ever recorded in the history of the Atlantic Ocean since 1851.
Yep.
All right. Okay, looks like...
Let's go.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay, so let me take a look at this very quickly. Yep, I got it right here, at least from the forecast discussion. Public advisory, for some reason, isn't quite working. We're going to wait for the cone to get upgraded, so that way we can see what the new cone has it going for. Regardless... Oh, got it. Got it right now. 160 miles per hour, moving at 22 miles per hour.
So it's a
That
Cat
is your
5
Category
essentially?
5 hurricane right there,
I've
ladies and
joined
gentlemen.
back for a second.
Public advisory is
Just
taking a
like-
while to delay, but we have it on the website, 160. This is the
Yeah,
earliest
public
Category
advisory
5
normally-
hurricane in history, in recorded history, ladies and gentlemen. Last night, it
just
was the
like-
earliest recorded history of the Category 4. Tonight, now it's a Category 5. History has been made, unfortunately,
wanted to
in the
put
Caribbean
that-
Sea because it's surrounded by land. So,
Yeah.
Wow.
someone's going to get affected by this.
The discussion
It's
should
definitely
be
not
out in the
gonna-
next 5 minutes. Normally it comes out 5 minutes after.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
An
I
unbelievable
really
night.
hope.
An unbelievable
And
I
night.
really hope.
For those of you
that
tuning in right
this
now,
doesn't-
we just have a Category 5.
Yep.
And for
Okay,
people
made,
wondering why I'm
So
so
I
excited,
want to state something. Or if this, I really hope that this does not sustain Category 5 strength by the time it gets near Jamaica, because that is not going to be good.
It's
Probably
likely
won't.
going to undergo an eyeball replacement cycle before then.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
the
Or
thing
good morning,
people
throwing
are
effect to
saying
make it.
is, some people are saying, hey, why are y'all so excited about this? We have been literally since 7 a.m. for me. Storm's been up since 8.
I've been up
we
since
have
7.
been watching this. Keep having Category 5 estimates. But because recon was not in there, we couldn't get it. So, in theory, this might have been a Category 5 more than once, depending on if Dorak is correct. And some of
Yeah.
those ones since the earliest were correct. That's why we're excited they finally confirmed it. Not because we wanted to happen, but because we felt like data has been absolutely been...
Okay, I got
None
the
of
discussion,
you
guys. I got the
three-
discussion. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and read. I'll let you finish your point, Trish, and then I'm going to read the biggest parts of this.
We do feel like this was a Eta Iota situation in some of the storms in this past, like Hurricane Sam, where they would get, and that's not the fault of the recon, but the recon would get out, they would use satellite estimates, and they would keep either doing 155 or even when there's signs of Category 5 in the history of Category 5, so there's multiple ways of observing one, they didn't do it. So the reason why we're excited is because they finally confirmed something that we suspected since earlier this morning, 7 to 8 a.m.
Yep. All right,
So-
let's go ahead and read this out right now. Data from Hurricane Hunter aircraft tonight has been quite helpful in assessing Beryl's structure and intensity. Within the past hour, a aircraft measured a peak flight level wind of 150. What's up? What's up? What's good?
What happened?
Oh boy. Okay. Well,
Sorry, my brother's in my room. One.
all right. Okay, I'll continue reading this. All right. A typical 90% reduction translates this to 140 knots, which makes Beryl a potentially catastrophic Cat 5 hurricane. This is the earliest Category 5 hurricane observed in the Atlantic Basin on record. Only the second Category 5 hurricane to occur in July after Hurricane Emily in 2005, and this is the first confirmed in real time, ladies and gentlemen. So history has been made. And continues to move very fast at this current point in time. After 48 hours, the strongest ridging becomes positioned more northwest of Beryl, and the storm could turn a bit more westward and gradually slow down as it reaches the northwestern Caribbean. This guidance was nudged a bit further north of the cycle, and roughly between the reliable consensus aids. After 72 hours, the spread increases quite dramatically, especially after Beryl emerges in the Gulf. Forecast confidence is rather low. While I cannot rule a bit more intensification in the short term, drops in pressure observations between the fixes in Beryl's eye have remained steady at 938 millibars. It is also possible that an eye well replacement cycle, another one, could begin like we saw last night, with the model giving it an ERC a 50 to 75% chance on the last few microwave passes. That said, after the next 24 hours, the GFS and European remain insistent of a significant shear above 30 knots will begin to undercut the outflow layer. The HAVS regional hurricane models, which did a good job of predicting the peak intensity today, are also insistent this shear will start to disrupt the hurricane system after the next 24 hours. It is evident that there will be this less favorable pattern on the GO-16 water vapor imagery, and thus further increase the weakening. This remains uncertain at this current point. Here's the forecast: 160 right now, 155 in the next 12 hours, 145 in 24, gets down to Cat 3 in the next 36, Cat 2 in the next 48, then it makes landfall in the Yucatan Peninsula. According to the NHC right here, if we can pull up the cone right here, yes we can. Looks like it will be making landfall as a 90-mile-per-hour hurricane. The bad news is the cone is now moving this much closer to Jamaica than before. And they're now likely to get hurricane force winds from this. If you guys are taking a look at the cone,
Yep.
that isn't good. That is not good.
Became a Cat 5 at 13.8 north. That's one of the most southern Cat 5s on record.
Yep.
That's nuts.
Yeah, unbelievable. I do expect hurricane watches to go into effect for parts of the Yucatan Peninsula and Belize in the next 36 hours, so we'll have to pay attention to that. And then...
And it approaches Jamaica as a major hurricane at 120 miles an hour.
Yeah, this is giving me Dean vibes, except Dean was a lot stronger.
Yeah.
Regardless, what's everyone's thoughts right now?
I'm glad in terms of weather community sense, I'm glad we were not being weenies and actually knew something was wrong, and it's been confirmed tonight. I'm very proud of y'all. We did a lot of analysis and data, and we've been on this since 3 days ago. I know Storm and I talked about this being at least a Category 4 hurricane before it even tried rapid intensification. And
yeah,
they did it. Wow.
I will say...
Now here, and another thing for people, the National Hurricane Center, in terms of the path so far, amazing. But
it looks like they're leaving the storm.
We still need to understand why some storms are able to rapidly intensify so much and some do not. And I don't mean just the current conditions. I mean, what's the mesoscale going on within the system? What's happening that is making it rapidly intensify, especially with small systems like this? So I know the intensity was a lot more what the hell than we predicted, but the track was absolutely phenomenal.
Yes, it was. The track is never the problem. It's always the intensity that I've noticed. Yeah.
And you know what surprises me is that the HAFS A and B models are experimental and they actually do very well.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is your first Cat 5 of tonight. For those of you just joining us, we will be live for a little while longer, so be sure to like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you are new, so that way we can get more people engaged with weather, and we will be taking some questions in chat as we continue to look at this, as we continue to monitor the recon, as it continues to punch through, and see how low this pressure can go before the eyewall replacement cycle and shear starts tearing it apart. So any questions?
Also, one more thing.
And if any person, hold on, if any person that is tuning in is in Jamaica, you need to stay on the stream and watch closely, watch the weather closely, and start preparing, because this thing's going to come really close to you, and it's probably going to be a major hurricane by the time it gets close.
Yep, exactly. This is going to be interesting.
I will also say this. What makes me even more worried about the season, the first hurricane is a 5. That sends shivers down my spine for later.
Yeah.
This is probably a bad sign. I'm going to be honest.
I found a drop zone that didn't make it to the surface, but where it did make it, it recorded almost 170 knot winds. It made it to the 900 millibar layer.
Yeah.
I think that was the drop zone in the east eye wall.
You know what's kind of funny? The moment they confirmed Cat 5, the recon left. Mission done.
Yeah,
it's done.
Yeah,
I think
good
that was
job,
their.
recon.
That was their main purpose. They've been working
main
on
purpose
a
was probably to go out there
that was
to
a
see if it
short
was.
mission.
And before,
They were probably only going out to see if it was still potentially Cat 5 potential or not.
Yeah. By the way, I just want to say this real quick. I know there's been some controversy with the NHC. Recon has done a phenomenal job.
Everyone's done a great job.
It has really helped us out, and even helped us get that rapid intensification knowledge going on early before it really began. So I always have appreciate recon.
Well, I'll be right back, guys. I gotta go put some stuff away quick.
All right, have fun doing that. But holy crap, this has been an unbelievable last few days covering this.
Someone said, "Do you believe a Category 6 will be added and increase in strength and power due to climate change?"
No.
That's like asking if the EF6 will happen.
No. And I will tell you this right now: that is an absolutely horrible idea, because that means people are going to take Cat 5s less seriously because it's not the highest level anymore. That's the problem I have with it. And I talked to Weather Center Rosario about this. He also has a massive problem with it, and for similar reasons that I do. So, yeah.
For the people in Jamaica, we need to talk. We need to have a one-on-one conversation. The problem, I don't think, will be the wind. Even though it's 160, and you will likely get some wind damage. The thing about Jamaica that has made storms so deadly was never the wind. It was the mudslides and flooding from the mountain. If you are in a flood and mudslide prone area, you have to get out. You have to go.
Yep.
You got to get ready for the storm. If you're in a mudslide, the flooding area, get out. Please,
yeah,
please,
I would move to a more safe location at that point.
Exactly, because the wind is not what really kills in hurricanes. It's the surge, it's the mudslides, and it's the rainfall.
Couldn't be better said.
Also, for our people in Jamaica, because you do have mountains for uplift, I can't discount one or two or a few tropical tornadoes, especially with how strong the system is And when it becomes more wider, and if it has that dry air dry air and moisture for supercells do mix decently together.
Yes, they do.
Depending on their structure. So
Oh, yes, they do. I see it with
some
dry lines in
tropical
Texas
tornado
all the time.
concerns some tropical tornado concerns are definitely there, depending on the banding of the system by the time it gets to Jamaica.
Yep.
Okay, it's 11 p.m. Do we have that new advisory yet?
Yes, we do. We've had
We've
it for a
been
while.
having it's a Cat 5.
Oh, okay.
We've had it for a long time. Yeah, John,
Is it possible
our head
the
admin,
landfall
has
is
his
Jamaica?
red background on the Discord call. What are your thoughts on all this?
This is remarkable. I cannot believe this. Just a few days ago, we were not even forecasting a Cat 5, and here we are. We have a Cat 5, and on July 1st, earliest Cat 5 on record.
Yep.
Just in time for July 4th. Okay, no.
Just in time for Independence Day, but we're not going to get into that.
Is it possible for a landfall in Jamaica? At this point, anything is possible.
At this point, another wobble to the north, definitely.
Yeah. My worst fear is not the eye wall. Y'all can run from the wind. The wind is the easiest thing to take cover from, especially if it's weakening. It's the flooding, it's the mudslides, maybe a few tornadoes, depending on the mesoscale.
Yeah.
Because I know Jamaica doesn't experience that many tornadoes, so it might be a little bit of a higher threat than normal. Correct me if I'm wrong, people in Jamaica. But flooding and mudslides are the scariest thing. Because remember Hurricane Mitch? It only made landfall as a Category 1.
But it caused so much rain.
In the Caribbean, it's so much rain from the mountains combined with the PWAT values over there.
Yeah.
Which is why a lot of people think that the modern day Saffir-Simpson scale is not good enough.
I agree. I do
probably-
think there need to be some repercussions, but how can you really, because if you have different types of scales or whatever, I think the Saffir-Simpson scale is to make it simple for people to understand.
Yeah.
And in this case, yes.
I would
we
say
need that in some cases.
just simplify the wind code. If it were up to me personally, I would say a Cat 5 would be anything over 150 because that's how they consider super typhoons in the Pacific. That would be my
Someone
personal
said,
opinion.
no, we do not have tornadoes in Jamaica.
Maybe they
Not
could
normally.
also use a
Okay,
mix.
so
Go ahead.
there could be a few tropical tornadoes depending on the helicity of the storm, depending on the rain bands. But the big thing is the flooding and the mudslides. If you are in a mudslide or flooding prone area or a storm surge prone area, because if it goes through owl replacement cycles, even if the storm weakens, guess what? The
Your
surge is
wind
still
field
going to be a
expands.
threat because it's getting larger. So
Yeah, look at what
flooding
happened with
would be the biggest
a Hurricane
concern.
Sandy.
Exactly. That's a perfect example.
Okay, do we have questions in chat so we can ask that?
I'm
we
saying
can
the
answer.
models are drunk. They drunk too much. I kind of agree. With the strafe, yeah, I agree. With the track, they've done a great job.
Do I think it's going to hit
Do
the
you think it's gonna
the
hit-
South Gulf Coast of Texas? It's definitely
Too
possible, but it's too
early.
early to tell.
Too early, but the Weather Prediction Center does give a tease that the remnant low tries to
All right.
go near Brownsville, but that's much later.
Yeah.
That's the only clue I could give you.
Yeah.
But that's
okay.
far away. Too,
yeah. Why a Cat 5 in July? Well, let's just say we've been watching essentially a powder keg in the Caribbean Sea since October of last year here at Storms United. This tapped into that powder keg and all hell broke loose. That's the simple explanation I can give to you. Because no hurricanes went in the month of went into the Caribbean in 2023 because the Bermuda High is always weaker thanks to the El Nino. And then you had a situation where all that water just sat there for a year, for almost a year, and now you see these storms paying dividends for them. So that's kind of how it went down.
Okay, a lot of people are asking us a lot of questions, and I would like to answer some of these.
Sure.
First of all, could it get a little stronger? 165 is possible,
I agree.
especially with the way it's been
Okay.
strengthening. It's possible, but because
Oh.
of Iowa replacement cycle,
Oh, okay, this is new. Recon's going back in.
That's good.
Okay, good.
What?
We have a
leaving.
question.
I guess they said
We
no
have
way. We're
a
not done yet.
okay. We have a question in chat saying, "What's going on with the storm behind Beryl?"
It's dying
It's
off.
dying. It's having a horrible death due to dry air. It's choking. It's like it's having an asthma attack. Basically, it's getting choked off.
Yep. What's the next
Yeah.
question, guys?
The next question I saw from Cancun saying, should we prepare for any effects? Mostly heavy rainfall with maybe some Cat 1 to low-end Cat 2 force winds, depending on the structure. For now, remember, this storm has exceeded expectations, so remember to monitor your forecast. You should get ready. You know what? I'm going to say this, and this may be ridiculous at first. Get ready for a low-end Category 3, just in case it does overperform
I agree.
expectations. So that way you are prepared for when it does do overperforming expectations.
It's been overperforming expectations this whole time, so I completely agree with Tristan on that.
On the edge.
Just make sure you're not near a landslide flood area, please, in Mexico.
Yep.
That's my biggest tip there.
Definitely. Do we have any more questions? Going. Yeah. Is there something new else coming off of Africa? There might be some tropical waves, but the Sahara air layer is just pushing.
There's a wave.
Yeah, the Sahara air layer is just pushing so far to the south that it might not end up doing anything. We'll have to watch it though.
That's good news.
Someone said, "Is the hurricane going to hit the Cayman Islands?" Ooh, let's check that.
I've been watching the
I think
models.
the
It does look like the
northern
core, if it pushes north enough, like if it stays just south of Jamaica, the Cayman Islands definitely could see like the core of it, like tropical storm force winds, hurricane force gusts, but not much more than that at this current point in time. But it's a little too far out to say for certain because the models do deviate quite a lot after Jamaica. I've been keeping an eye on it.
Okay, someone else asked a question saying, "Will they retire the name if it does not cause substantial damage?"
I mean, I would argue it's already caused substantial damage.
It already did.
It already has. So how retirement works is if a country, like every country in this basin represents itself in the conference, and if a country requests the name to be retired, NHC is going to have to look at it. They'll most likely approve it. That's why Hurricane Nate got retired in 2017 because it caused so much damage in Nicaragua as a tropical wave and tropical depression that the government of Nicaragua sent that request to the NHC and it was approved. It wasn't because it was a 90-mile-per-hour hurricane that made landfall in Louisiana and caused quite a bit of damage. It was because of what happened in Nicaragua. So yes, I have a feeling it will be retired.
So
Okay,
Ash, what
and
cat is it
someone-
just got here? Thanks. It's a Cat 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, and someone else wants us to respond saying, "Can Beryl get more? Can Beryl get any stronger?"
We already
I
talked about
say-
it.
165 is
Yeah,
fine.
we already talked about it. We already talked about it.
We think 165.
mile-per-hour winds at
It could
yeah,
go
maybe 165 at the highest 170. I'm not going to go above.
It doesn't
170.
go. It goes from 165 to 175. 170 doesn't exist on the charts because it goes by a knots period instead of a miles per hour period. I will say,
And also,
yeah.
Well,
this depends on the evolution.
Yep.
I do think it will stay 160 because of that 50 to 75% chance of an eye wall replacement cycle. But you never know. The system has overperformed. We'll see.
Yep. Yeah, is it a similar path as Ivan? Not necessarily, because Ivan, if you guys remember, Ivan was close to Jamaica, but then it turned towards the Yucatan Strait and caused a lot of and did a lot of damage in Cuba before entering the Gulf of Mexico. This thing's going into is crashing into the Yucatan Peninsula, kind of like what Hurricane Dean did back in 2007. Only silver lining to that is it's going to be entering in a very rural area near the Mexico-Belize border over there.
Should be a strong either. Should be a Cat 5.
What?
Shouldn't be as strong either.
No, it shouldn't. It will not be a Cat 5 because of the shear.
Oh, Pat, I have something I want to
I'd
ask
say
you.
Cat 3.
What's up?
Pat, have you seen the damage over where it made landfall?
Wait, is that who I think it is right now? Is that the homie T-Vold?
Yeah, it's me.
Welcome to the stream. You haven't been here in a while. Anyway, okay.
I wanted to pop in because I wanted to
Okay,
wanted to talk, with the stream.
we've got another. Are we stopping questions or are we?
No.
continuing
Keep doing questions. T-Vol was just talking for a sec.
Okay. Well. In that case, there's one saying, given the history being witnessed, is this hurricane a harbinger of what's to come? Will hurricanes form faster and more powerful and become more powerful?
In 2024, I believe this is a trendsetter. I've said this since the very beginning. Why? Because the OHC is not going to decrease. The waters are not going to cool down because this is moving way too fast. If it was moving at half the speed, then we could talk about enough upwelling to kind of calm it down for a bit. But considering this is July 1st and not September 1st, we still have 2 months to go for these waters to warm up to their fullest potential, and the OHC that is lost will easily be recovered. So it's my belief that this will be this is going to set the tone for what's going on. Now, do I think we're going to see a bunch of Category 5s or anything like that? No. We don't know yet about that yet, and I hope we don't, and I do not think we will. But we're going to see a lot more named systems. We're going to see a lot of more tropical storms. We're going to see a lot more hurricanes in association with that. And we're going to see an uptick of major hurricanes, but we're going to have to pay attention to it. Any more questions?
Let me see if there's any more.
I have to restart my computer. I'm sorry for leaving.
You're fine. In the meantime, T-Volt. Yeah, I was looking at the video from Beryl when it made landfall. It was horrific what I saw. It was I know some people were talking about it being worse than the winds from Ian in 2022. What's your take on it?
I think actually the areas that were made landfall, I think they probably got worse winds than almost everywhere that got hit by Ian, except for maybe a few of the barrier islands, or actually maybe even more than them.
Yeah.
But if you actually noticed, the structures didn't really go down, and there's a reason for that. It's because they're concrete. They're not wood. They're not brick. They're concrete.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that they bolted that to the ground or something like that, or they just built it using concrete.
Yeah, all the structures there are concrete in the Caribbean.
Well, I'm not surprised about that. That's probably their saving grace at this current point. Regardless, go ahead.
There's an issue with that. The roofs there are made out of zinc, so they can be torn off by high winds and hit things and destroy things because it's sheet metal.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what happened. Like all the roofs were going flying.
Okay.
But the walls.
Okay. We got. I think we might have already talked about if it will go over Jamaica or pass close to it, and from what we're seeing from the tracking cone, is probably going to pass close to it. There is still a decent chance that it could make landfall in Jamaica, but right now, from what we're seeing on the tracking cone, it is just going to pass just south of it.
All right. Well, that settles it right there. Man, this has been a very interesting night. Mr. T-Volt, you would agree with me on this statement right here that a good way to get more people engaged with weather is to join the pinned link in my chat right now. That goes to the Storms Unite Discord server, right?
For sure.
All right, so be sure if you want to get more engaged and you want to ask us more questions behind the scenes or get more involved with the Pat's Path Predictor channel, as well as the rest of us in general, be sure to join the Storms United Discord server. Link is in the top comment right there. I will have John monitoring new members so we can do that. And in the meantime, be sure to like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We've been getting a lot of new subscribers recently. Over the last few days, I could not be more thankful for getting more people engaged with weather. So thank you very much for all the support. But in the meantime,
Recon is about to pass through the eye again.
Okay, but one last thing. If we do another stream, do not fill the chat with unrelated questions like Nick Smith has been doing.
Well, yeah, let's not. Hold on.
It makes getting the questions harder.
Well. Okay, that's fair. We don't have to name drop anyone though. We don't have to do that.
I know, but he was filling the chat with unrelated questions. Yeah,
my question.
Yeah, it's annoying. Don't do that, especially when we have a major hurricane on our hands.
I mean, look, what I'll say about that is just keep your questions to the topics at hand. And if you're gonna ask unrelated questions, I mean, you can type them. We're not gonna answer them. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right.
We're not gonna answer them, especially with
And also,
a Cat
lot of
5.
people. And also, a lot of people are asking if it is risky to do a cruise in September. I think with what we're seeing from just Beryl alone,
hold on,
and the fact that it might be a trendsetter.
I think it's a little too early to tell right now, because we need.
Well, it depends on your location.
Yeah, because it depends on your location. It depends on where you're going. It depends on the time, and it depends on the weather forecast. That's all I can say about it.
There's a lot of seasons where they've had a Cat 5 to begin it off, and then suddenly the rest of the storms have become 2s and 3s and don't do much. I mean, there's so many seasons in the past with that.
Yeah.
There are other seasons where there was no Cat 5. Every hurricane season, no matter how much there's an analog to it to compare to similar conditions, every hurricane season is different. So this might be our only 5, and then suddenly, for some reason, El Nino comes back, and the Atlantic just decides.
I don't think El Nino's going to come back. I really don't.
Tristan, here's the flaw with that. Even if El Nino did come back, due to how warm how recordly warm the sea surface temperatures are, it would combat against it, and the Atlantic would
It would
still
just crush
produce.
it.
That was just an example.
Yeah, I know.
Which I wish El Nino was here. Maybe
this wouldn't be happening if El Nino was here.
It would suppress the amount of storms we have slightly, but we would still have a hyperactive season.
But yeah, El Nino's not going to come back.
2023 was like that.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
Tivo.
Okay. Another commonly asked question that I'm seeing is now, when this comes close or hits Jamaica, is this going to be a major hurricane or just going to be a Cat 2?
It's going to be a major hurricane.
All depends on how it's
going to be a major hurricane,
It depends on how it holds up.
Yeah.
Currently, National Hurricane Center forecast it to be 120.
Maybe a low. I'd say maybe a low to mid end Category 3. I do not think it's going to be a Cat 4. I definitely don't think it's going to be a Cat 5.
No, it's going to weaken in time.
Yeah, because of all the wind shear.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's scary when we just did 160 miles an hour and Yoshi just typed we got 145, not evidence.
What?
Okay.
Okay.
What's going on, Yoshi? I haven't been here, so.
Well,
is Yoshi not here?
He'll be here soon.
Recon's going through the northwest eye right now, about to punch out the southeast. I didn't realize they went back in the storm. I thought they were leaving.
No, they're not. No, they're not. I think they're going in for another pass.
Yeah, they are. Which means they'd probably go through the northeast eye again.
Yep. That's going to be interesting. Regardless of what happens, yeah, the recon's going to be coming in a few minutes, so we'll see what's going on with that. But
so Yoshi, what's going on? If they're there, did Yoshi join?
He's not. Yeah,
he's not here.
He's not here. He's not here. We'll talk to him in a second. Anyway, do we have any more questions while we look at this?
This is one. All right. So here's one from another person. Can the warm water near Jamaica beat the wind shear to give the storm more power?
It depends on the evolution of the structure of the eye wall. It depends on how much dry air there is, and it depends on how warm the waters are.
I agree.
But because we have a combination of wind shear and dry air, no. All it would do actually is produce more flooding, which is not great for Jamaica. So, unless the dry air was super dominant and just killed the system entirely. That's my worry about Jamaica, because even if it's weakening, not only could it get bigger to eye wall replacement cycles, but I know with the moisture bubble, that dry air may not be enough. And if the shear really blows the system, then you might get a lot of rainfall, and that's trouble for mudslides and flooding.
Okay. All right. Someone else.
Yoshi
join?
was here, but he's.
Yeah, hopefully he gets back, because I'd like to hear what he has to say about this recon. But regardless,
Yoshi's here.
Okay, what do you have for recon?
All right, me.
Yes.
Yeah, let me get it real quick. We just got 170 knot flight level winds, apparently.
Oh, what?
What? Wait, I need you to show us that.
And I know it exists. I'm trying to find it. It's buried under all this text, probably.
Wait, 180?
170 knots.
170 knots.
Yeah, that's I believe 195 miles an hour at flight level.
There is no way that this is 195.
That's at flight level.
That's at flight level.
Hold on.
That's at flight level.
The strongest hold on. The strongest IWO drop zone for Hurricane Beryl measured a mean wind of 171 knots and the lowest 150 meters. Using the reduction suggested by Franklin's study, this correlates to a surface wind of 145 knots.
Or 165 miles an hour.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay. That doesn't surprise
We
me.
just said it might go 175.
This is gonna This is gonna be interesting.
Oh, someone already posted for me. Thank you.
Wait, who did?
This is intensifying so.
Oh, recon just passed through.
I see it.
Imagine we find 175. That'd be insane.
Within the past 48 hours, it went from what wind speed to this?
Just 40 miles an hour to 160 to 165. That's fine.
I don't think this is just rapid intensification. This might be.
Oh my God, the Reaper said, did this man really say 170 knots? If the Reaper is still here, I'm going to tell you right now, that's at flight level.
That's
all right,
flight
it's at
level.
160.
That's flight level.
Oh, he already
If that
knows.
was for the
Okay.
surface, we're screwed.
Reaper, don't troll me like that, Reaper. All right.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Oh, okay. We got it right here. We got something for Okay, we got this. We're finding flight level winds. I believe these are around 140 knots in the northwestern Iowa.
Yep.
Okay.
And
Someone
we're looking at
asked
extrapolated
if
pressure of
Honduras be
936.
affected. That's
No,
too far
934. 935 is an extrapolated pressure.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so someone asked
real
if
quick.
can Honduras be affected?
Honduras?
And I'd say that's too far out.
Yeah, it's
That's way too far out.
Honduras, let me take a look. It's going to be too small. It's going to be too far north for that. I'm looking at.
And someone asked, how wide is the eye?
That's a good question.
I think it's about 15 nautical miles. I could be wrong though.
Jeez.
One more thing. So,
I think
Hurricane
20
Beryl
miles.
has achieved the following: earliest Cat 4 and 5 zone record, fastest intensification before September in Atlantic, southernmost Category 4 on record.
Yeah.
No. Oh, it might. No, they're right. Southernmost Category 4. If it was a free, then I would have said I.
Yeah.
It's a
Well, this has been quite a interesting last couple of days. I remember streaming on Friday night when this thing was just becoming a tropical storm. We were at that point just kind of jumping the gun and saying this was Tropical Storm Beryl before it was officially designated by the NHC. Now it's a Category 5.
On the northwest side, I'm currently looking at live different site. I'm able to click on the individual barbs. That was 155 miles at on the barbs.
155 knots?
No, 155 miles per hour.
At the surface?
These are the the extrapolated pressure barbs.
Yep. Yeah.
It's that.
All right. Let's go ahead and send it in when you're ready.
They're flight level winds.
Okay.
Yeah, I have it up on my stream right now. Oh,
I
wait,
do.
yeah.
I do think the pressure is going to be 935 or 933, depending on because it's not just where the aircraft is flying. They got to measure it all the way to the surface. The aircraft can still fly.
Well,
so
it's real when
My bad. That was 145 knots.
Okay.
At the 10-second. I was looking at the 30-second.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's real when the Weather Channel posts something on my phone notification that says Beryl becomes the earliest Cat 5 on record. Here it is right here for you, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys can see it in the stream. You know it's real when that's happening. Quite crazy if you ask me.
Okay, while we're looking at that, someone asked a question in chat saying, despite the models underperforming in intensification, why is such a strong hurricane not pushing against the ridge and going more north than what the models have originally thought?
The ridge is
No,
so
it's not.
strong that it's just keeping it to the south. Like the pressure, we were checking this, Tristan, on Friday. What's it right now? I think it's in the mid 1030s with the Azores high.
Ocean Prediction Center time.
Yep.
It is 10:34 right
Yep.
now.
That's what I
In the
thought.
next 24 hours, it's forecasted to be 10:36. 48 hours, 10:30.
Yeah.
There you go, Pat. I posted a picture. of
72
the
hours,
link.
10:26, with it moving a lot more east. But then there's mesoscale high pressures up to 10:19.
Yeah.
And then 96 hours is a mesoscale one of 10:15 to
All right.
10:16 in the Gulf of Mexico and East Coast. While there's an area between 10:24 and 10:26 millibars near the Azores.
Yeah. All right. So, well,
Hours.
okay. Yeah, that just answers my question. The ridge is the Azores high is so strong that this system cannot move north no matter how much this intensifies. So, yeah, I hope that answers that question for you. Do we have any more questions?
Someone said, I think the index advisor will be 165. It all depends because
It's going to depend on what we see in the
we're
northeast
starting to
eye
get
wall.
some evidence of 165, but it just went 160. And considering that Beryl has a very good chance of an eye wall replacement cycle, it may not
In the next 24
that.
hours, though.
Hey, Tristan,
No, not in 24
I need to ask
hours.
you
They
something.
said tonight,
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Tristan,
All right, let's.
I need to ask you something before we move on. Is there
Yeah.
is there going to be a situation like Lee where overnight we see an unexpectedly amount of shear coming in from the northeast, or no?
By the satellite image, and I could do the Ocean Prediction Center combined with the Weather Prediction Center to give an answer on that.
I just want to
Give me
ask
a minute
because
for
that
them
was
to
a
load.
huge thing
But real
last time.
quick, while we wait for that data to load, here are the Hurricane Beryl records, all of them. Earliest Cat 5 hurricane on record, we already know that. The first system on record to go rapid intensification in the main development region of the Atlantic Basin in June. Strongest June hurricane as measured by wind speed, surpassing Hurricane Audrey of 1957. Second ever Category 5 hurricane to occur in the month of July. Second to Hurricane Emily in 2005. The earliest Category 4 set by Hurricane Dennis. The Grenada landfall was the earliest by a major hurricane, surpassing the July 5th landfall of the 1916 Gulf Coast hurricane at Pascagoula, Mississippi. The third earliest Atlantic major hurricane on record.
Okay.
We have a quick update.
What's up?
I'm just gonna say this: Jamaica is now under a hurricane warning.
We already know
It's been
that.
under a hurricane warning for a
We
while.
already mentioned that.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
I got to interrupt everybody. We have a $10 donation by Daniel S. Thank you for all your hard work. Keep it up. For all the viewers, please support the channel. I am a guy who lives in a flood zone in Florida near the water close to Tampa. Thank you for the $10 donation. Remember, donations are always they're always appreciated. If you guys want to donate, you guys can at your own discretion. It benefits the Pat's Path Predictor channel, and it helps us with this live coverage like this. So thank you for the $10 donation. We really appreciate it. And yeah.
Yes, thank you, Daniel.
Yep.
And also, I've been down there to Tampa. I know it's pretty flood prone, but anyways.
I am near
another
Tampa.
Another question. Does it really matter if it strengthens? It's already insane. Yes, it matters.
It matters for the long
Matters a
term.
lot. Yeah.
I didn't finish. Okay, so the other two records I'm going to read before answering the question about unexpected wind shear is also the eastern most Atlantic hurricane to form in June at 49.3 degrees west, besting the mark set by the 1933 Trinidad hurricane at 58.9 west, and the strongest known hurricane to pass through the Grenadas ever. Now let's check the Ocean Prediction Center, and no, I don't see any unexpected wind shear.
All right.
I'm gonna check very carefully. Let me check carefully.
All right. Because if there is, that might be a piece of good news.
Unfortunately, by the Ocean Prediction Center and the Weather Prediction Center, no.
Oof.
No, unfortunately, no.
Oof.
But it's
Okay,
already being
Hey,
westerly
Teevil.
shear,
Hey,
so-
Teevil, are you still there?
I'm gonna.
Okay. Oh, never mind. Teevil's not here anymore. Okay.
Someone said, could it hit Jamaica as a high-end Category 4? With the eyewall replacement cycle process plus the dry air and wind
No.
shear,
Probably
very
not.
unlikely, but never impossible.
Remember, this thing
It's
has
weather
exceeded
after all.
expectations.
But
Yeah.
most likely, no. Most likely, no.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna just remind people, stop posting unrelated questions in the chat. It is making finding actual questions that are related to the topic a lot harder.
All right.
Please.
Okay. What he said. In the meantime, though, we have 400 people in chat right now. Be sure to like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you are new. It really gets more people engaged with weather, and it really helps me continue this live coverage. So we would really appreciate that if you like the stream and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for doing that, and thank you for all the mad love and support you guys have been giving me over the last 3 days. It's been unbelievable for not just me, but also the entire Storms United community as we continue this coverage. So thank you very much.
A lot of people are talking about Jamaica. First off, whoever said Jamaica will get hit on probably a Category 5, no,
That's not going to
is
happen.
impossible at this point.
With the
part is
eyewall
impossible
an
because
eyewall
of
replacement
the.
cycle basically on the horizon.
I would
Sorry,
love to.
go ahead.
I'd love for that to happen,
Okay,
but
go
we
ahead.
haven't seen too many signs.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will replace
any
cycles
updates?
combined. Oh my. I will
Let him
replace the
finish.
cycles
Okay.
combined with the shear and the dry air coming from the westerlies, and a little bit of shear being noticed near Central America on the water vapor satellite. I have been noticing that a little bit lately. But otherwise, no, it's not going to be a 5. The biggest threat for Jamaica, I know y'all may get some Cat 2, maybe low-end Cat 3 potential if it sustains. I wouldn't worry about the window as much because y'all can shelter from the wind easily. If you are on a mudslide and flooding area, get out. Instantly.
Yes.
Just get out.
Yes.
You gotta go. You gotta move. You gotta go to a safer area because that stuff is very deadly. Most tropical cyclone deaths don't occur from the wind, and I know a lot of people are concerned about the wind. You should be concerned about flooding, storm surge, and mudslide. That kills the most people in hurricanes and injures. So,
Also, I'd like to note, it looks like they're possibly going to take a pass to the northeast eye wall again.
That would be some good news.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah,
we
I
could
hope they
see
do.
maybe more
what if
Cat
the
5
outflow?
evidence.
What if the outflow completely just overrules the shear? That's not how it works. In fact, the reason why this hurricane has such good outflow was actually from wind shear. There was a tut on the northern side of the storm that ended up going north enough to where it allowed the storm to breathe. If that wind shear went a bit south, this storm would have gotten destroyed.
It was just
because of
the
the
right
dryer
place at the
off
right
to a
time.
piece. Outside the right time, yes. Beryl has caused 1 fatality in St. Vincent. So the name will be retired now.
Most likely.
No.
Most
no.
likely.
Actually, it's caused two retirements, deaths, fatalities.
It has to be a lot of fatalities or injuries. If one person dies
And a lot of
Not
from a hurricane,
necessarily,
unfortunately,
Tristan.
Not
The island
necessarily.
the landfall on is flattened. I think that's enough for retirement.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
it
over
only
$1 billion
cost
in
$1
damage
billion.
done.
I
Let's not
haven't
argue
seen
about
1
this right now.
billion. I haven't seen
Yeah,
$1
let's
billion
not
storms
argue.
get retired. Unless I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, but please correct me.
I was saying there's at least $1 billion of damage that have already been caused by this.
I would
I just
like
need
to. That's not all that goes into the repairment of a storm. Some places are really sensitive with that stuff because like some places haven't experienced storms of that magnitude, and this island is one.
Yeah.
Right. high-end Category 4 like that. So it is quite possible.
Someone just put in chat Emily 2.0.
Similar.
I'd
Oh,
agree.
never mind. You know
It
what?
is similar.
I apologize. I'm wrong. There's a lot of hurricanes from 1 billion that do get retired.
Yeah.
Yes, I do apologize. I had to do my research.
All right.
See, we all make
Hey, hey, we accept your apology.
Awesome, man.
Let's just keep going, and
Yeah.
let's just do that. All right. Let's do one last round of questions. For
The eye wall
those
is
tuning in.
looking more rounded.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
It is.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
can
looking
see it.
even more angular than it has in its life.
Yeah. In the oh, really?
Yeah.
Hold
on, let me see some of these questions. I'm gonna
Looking
answer
beastly,
some.
no, Mike. And that's what it currently looks like. It doesn't really have any banding, to be honest. It's got an interesting. It's got like a little hairdo on the north side.
A tiny little hairdo.
Oof.
Yeah, but no banding on the southern side. It just needs to lose whatever it has on the north, and there you go. Which, to be fair, is kind of hard for a storm like this to go annular. But it's getting closer.
Yep.
Someone asked, how is Belize looking? Belize, I would say watch the storm, but
Yes.
right now it is going a bit north for you. But, you know, if the Bermuda High does get a little bit stronger, or if the high mesoscale high pressures, does get a bit stronger in the United States, then Belize could be in fury and fret. So Belize, even though you're not in the cone as much, I would suggest you still watch it, as these storms can be a bit unpredictable.
Yeah. Okay.
Also,
Daniel just sent a donation of $5. Hey, thanks for the dono, buddy.
awesome.
Really appreciate it. Yeah, remember,
Thank you for the
remember
donation,
all donations
Daniel.
are.
All right, we got a new tweet by Alex.
Excuse me. Sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, remember.
We got a new tweet by Alex.
Hello guys, how y'all doing?
Hold on, let me look at this. Oh, awesome. Okay, thank you. We got a new tweet by Alex Bourne that says, despite becoming a Category 5, Beryl is not done. A new drop zone from its center reveals a pressure has begun to drop again, down to 936 millibars now. Starting to wonder how low it can go at this point. With an accompanying screenshot, which I will send.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Storms United's in a code
Boom.
purple. Thanks, Ethan. Did you post
VC
that?
Nomad.
Okay. Perfect. I'll pull it up for our audience.
Oh shoot!
And while you're pulling that up, by the way, reminder to everyone: if you do want to donate to help support the stream, help support Pat, then please go ahead and do so.
It's appreciated. It's always appreciated. You don't have to do it unless you want to.
And I do want to
unless you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. Just watching this stream puts it in the algorithm and gives it more attention.
Yeah,
that way
we appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
For the person that was asking about Belize before I got interrupted.
Sure.
In a row,
all right, continue.
Northern Belize is in the cone, so like I said, just watch it, because I've noticed that Northern Belize is under the cone at the potential center of the storm.
Hey,
Even though it
Tristan.
most likely won't go as south, just watch it, get ready just in case.
Hey Tristan, something else to note: when it does go under that eye placement.
Okay, you're cutting out.
Cut out.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Something else to note, Tristan, when it goes under that hour replacement cycle tomorrow is the system could expand again and that wind field could get bigger.
So yeah, Belize will have to watch it.
Belize, I would definitely keep an eye on it.
Keep an eye on it. At the worst so far, it just seemed maybe some low-end tropical storm force winds with a few rain bands, maybe.
Yeah.
Someone's asking for the outlook for the Cayman Islands.
The outlook for the Cayman Islands. If you're in the Cayman Islands, it depends on what the storm does at this point. It is getting a lot stronger, but sheer and dry air should expect to come in pretty soon. So depending on that, that would be it. That would be the determining factor for the Caymans. We're not expecting it to be strong.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. All right.
We're not expecting it to be the strongest storm ever, but It definitely has a chance for some low and hurricane force winds and a decent amount of rainfall.
What's the hurricane headed?
What's
All right. All right. So, Pat, can you hop in the VC no mic and show them via sounding air real quick? I want to teach the chat something real quick about weather.
Is this the
about
drop
how
send
to
you
read
have
some
right here?
things.
Is this the drop send?
Yeah, the drops on the image we have here.
All right.
The latest post.
Go right ahead.
Waiting for it to. There we go. Okay. So you see that red and green line, dew point and temperature, right?
Yep.
So here's a little secret for that a lot of Mets would know. So pretty much a very easy way to tell if the dew point and if this entire thing is favorable or not, at least concerning instability and moisture, is that you want to see this thing go in a Y shape. All right, that's if it looks more like a Y shape like it is here, then that's the most favorable it can be.
All right.
Concerning that type of environment. So if you see a Y shape, you know things are probably going to go down, especially if it's in the eye.
What do you mean by things are going to go down? Like, are we going to see more intensification or what?
It means it's in a very good environment, so intensification, yeah, definitely.
All right.
We have another question. Do you guys think it'll stay going northwest and hit southern U.S.? Most
Too
likely
early to
southern Texas. I
would
would
say southern
but
Texas.
too early to tell.
All right,
It's
thank
too,
you.
It might,
let's say we go out that far, most likely it's going to be hitting southern Texas, but it's too far out. So we
How
cannot
about
What's up?
Hmm?
Okay. In the meantime, I guess what I'll do now is I think we've gotten enough for tonight. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the stream right now. So
I think recon is. Can we stay enough for the final recon pass it's gonna do? I think it's. People are saying it's gonna do another recon pass.
we know.
Before
Yeah,
it goes.
I know it is. I know it is.
Yep.
It's just it definitely is. It's just it's 10:45 my time. I got stuff I got to take care of outside of this. So yeah.
It's gonna pass through the southwest eye and go right through the northeastern eye wall.
Yeah.
Imagine we find 175. Wait, no, that wouldn't. 175 knots doesn't exist. 170 knots doesn't exist. Wait, no, it does.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm being
175
real
knots
stupid.
exist.
No, I'm just like not thinking tonight. No.
All right.
Imagine we see 175 knots on this next run.
That's 200 miles an hour.
Yeah. We'll have
Light
to
level
find out
winds.
later. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up right here because we got stuff to do right afterwards. So yeah. All right. Thank you guys for coming on. First of all, everyone.
And one last reminder: if you are in the Caribbean, or if you have any relative or friend or anyone you know that's in the Caribbean, let them know about the situation and tell them to prepare just in case especially if they're in Jamaica, just in case if this does something that we didn't expect it to. Because we sort of expected it to become a Cat 5, but we didn't expect it to become a Cat 5 this quickly.
Yep. Thank you very
Unless
much.
we did.
Hey, Yoshi.
Yeah.
You said imagine if it hit 200 mile an hour flight level. Well, a 90% reduction would mean surface winds would be 180 if it did that.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that's why it's like a in before and not an actual prediction. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for
One more
coming on.
thing.
What's up?
I am typing something in the chat.
Lava command.
That's
Yes.
Tristan.
All right.
All right. Yes.
And you
exactly.
might have seen a BL Legend person sending a couple of messages. That was me. That was my account.
Remember, remember, part of our hurricane preparedness kit for people are a backup generator if you can afford one, food, water, money, first aid, documents for any confirmation of money, of your house bills or whatever, if property does get damaged. If you are in a mudslide and flood prone area, you need to leave that area immediately. Do not put the
Also-
generators near your house because that could do
Yep.
carbon dioxide poisoning. Make sure to put them in a safe location away
Any
from
carbon
your house.
monoxide?
Yeah,
Carbon monoxide, I'm sorry, yes.
Yeah. And trust me, even after this storm passes, you do not want to get carbon monoxide poisoning. It's not fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming on the stream tonight. For all of our guests here. Well, it's been a very long weekend here on the Pat's Path Predictor channel. We've been watching Beryl intensify at a very fast rate over the last few days. And tonight, history's been made. What's up?
Another record was broken that I never knew of.
Wait, what is it?
Hurricane Beryl was the fastest intensifying storm before the month of September in the Atlantic Ocean.
Outside of the month of September.
Intensified 65 miles per hour in a 24-hour period.
Yep.
Wow.
That's crazy. Well, that's another record right there. One of many.
That's nuts.
I did put the records. I did say them to the audience, but I did also put a graph of what the records have broken.
Yeah.
It was also the most southernmost Cat 4 on record.
We already talked about that. I think we did.
Okay, someone said in chat real quick, I hate to say this, but I live in the Caribbean. If you live on an island, there's nowhere to go. Our shelters are in flood-prone areas. It's how life is on the islands. In that case, just do anything you can to prepare yourself and prepare any loved ones you have with you. Because the worst thing that there are probably pretty bad things that are going to happen, but the worst thing is that you lose a loved one just because you couldn't or weren't able to prepare. Just do as much as you can to spare as many lives as you can.
All right.
Once this hurricane passes,
Oh, we got more 170 knot support. 170.
Adjusted T is now 6.9. Pressure
But
down to
after this
933.
Might as well be
trust
7.
me, after this hurricane passes, there are going to be rescue efforts. They're already starting because when the Lesser Antilles got hit.
Yeah.
So
Well,
don't worry,
it
when
depends
storm
on
passes,
the region. It depends on the region. It depends on how fast they can do it.
Yeah.
But the main thing to do is to not panic. This may seem like a bad situation, but by panicking, you're only going to make it worse.
Exactly.
So.
All right.
Remember, prepare for the worst, hope for the best, and stay aware and stay vigilant.
Exactly.
There you go.
Because as a person who has been in the path of hurricanes before, I know exactly what to do.
Yep.
And I know that panic can kill.
All right. That's I guess that's a good thing to close the stream out with that message. Well, very interesting last few days. Thank you for tuning into the live stream tonight. Remember to be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps us out and helps us get more streams and videos out like these. I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow night. I need to take a rest from all this coverage that we have. We'll see what happens in the next couple of days or so with how Beryl goes. And you have one more thing?
Yeah, I have one more thing. Thank you to the people who donated to the stream. Thank you so much. It really helps Pat out. Of course,
and also,
I'm not
just those guys. We gotta thank those who like the stream, subscribe to the channel as well. Because they've been doing a wonderful job.
And those who viewed the stream, those who viewed the stream, and even shared it with any loved ones, and help them get informed about the current situation.
Exactly. Exactly.
Any little thing that you can do to help a loved one get informed and help anyone get informed.
Yeah.
That is something good you can do.
Yep.
Also, new
And
drops on
if you
data
did that,
on
my heart goes
Southeast
out to
Eye
you.
recorded 140 mile-an-hour winds.
We got another drops on which has 170 knot support.
Well,
170 knot flight wind support.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Well, we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that off stream then. Yeah, because we'll deal with that off stream. But in the meantime, thank you for watching tonight. Be sure to subscribe and leave a like on the stream. Really helps us out. Helps us get more people engaged with weather. I'll see you guys later. There'll be an afternoon video tomorrow. And with that being said, have a wonderful night.
And stay safe.
Stay safe.
And stay safe.
Yep. Thank you.
See you, y'all.
Good.